Jaden Higgins, wide receiver 39, or Josh Downs, wide receiver 44?
Yeah, this one was, I think this one is tied for the toughest one of all of the guys we've talked about today.
Okay.
I'm going to lean the vet here in Josh Downs. And I know I've leaned the vet in pretty much all of them so far, but I'm going to lean it again. Really, when I'm looking at Downs, I don't like the Indy quarterback play. I don't think anybody loves the Indy quarterback play. And I think that's really what's limiting this upside in the short term. I do think he is the long-term slot guy there in Indianapolis. You know, he had a 26% target share last year when he was healthy. So we like to see that when he's on the football field, he's a guy that's getting the football pretty often. It's also another guy, you know, I talked about success rates for Garrett Wilson, 90th percentile versus man for Josh Downs in 2 straight years. The other guys who have done that are all guys that we consider elite. Josh Downs is one of the guys that we don't consider elite yet, I think, at this point in time. And maybe that's just because of the quarterback play. And not only that, you know, this is a little bit of a smaller wide receiver, but he's also excelled at contested catch. He, you know, has caught 70% of the contested catches that have come his way in 2024. So I really do like Jaden Higgins. I think he's a player that I would probably be, you know, you said 51 and 49. I think I'd probably go like 55 Josh Downs and 45 Jaden Higgins, but I think I'm going to take Downs just because I think we've seen a little bit of those flashes where there's just so much potential that can be unlocked with Josh Downs. And I do actually believe Daniel Jones is probably going to be the starter for a majority of the year this year. Like, that's the way that I am operating with this. And we've seen him pepper, you know, much less wide receivers in the slot like Wan'Dale Robinson with a bajillion targets before. And if he does that with Josh Downs can, I think, absolutely feast.
No, we're in lockstep on this one as well. So you're 3 vets, no rookies. I'm 1 rookie, 2 vets so far, but I'm with you on Josh Downs. I actually have his ADP is wide receiver 44. I have him right now as my wide receiver 33. So I think he's being just crazy undervalued right now. I do believe that he's a player that his talent dictates he should be higher. And in non-Anthony Richardson games last year, he was averaging around 15 points a game. That would put you in wide receiver 1 territory. So if he is able to do that this year, it's going to either be because Daniel Jones is the quarterback or Anthony Richardson stepped it up and is playing better and completing more than, you know, less than half of his passes. He's closer to 60% of his passes, something like that. So either way, I just don't see a scenario where it's worse for Josh Downs. And I think we're going to get much better play. He's a guy that could ascend several tiers in people's rankings this offseason. So definitely very interested in Josh Downs.
Dynasty, hot body, hot boy, Dynasty, hot summer. In Dynasty, it's so easy to find yourself on another league just because you just want to draft. Drafting's so fun. Fast Draft gives you the opportunity. And, you know, you draft a team, then you set it, forget it. And then you open up the app at the end of the year and you go, look at me. Got so much coin in my bank account now because I did so well. So if you go on there, Fast Draft, use the promo code NERDS. They're going to match your deposit up to $50. And with that, you know, they're also going to allow us to give you a free Nerd Herd membership. So we're going to give you a free 1-year membership to Nerd Herd, everything that comes with it, extra podcast, of course, the Dynasty GM app, which is the dopest tool out there in the world today when it comes to fantasy football and Dynasty. If you're already a Nerd Herd member, we're going to send you a gift certificate to the merch store. So check them out, Fast Draft.
All right. So if you are new here, this is the Roster Rescue Show brought to you by Dynasty Nerds. And we do a lot of different things here. One, we grade your rosters. We tell you what to do, what moves to make, what kind of trades, all of those kinds of things. You can scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner that says submit a roster. And we're going to make sure that we go through and we get nitpicky about your team, your league, and how you can make the best use of your assets there. But we also have like what Michael and Mike just did, where if you want to just, hey, I don't know that I want a full roster rescue. I don't know that I need you guys to check everything out. I just need to know about a specific deal or a specific trade or things like that. Then you can just put in a super chat just like these two guys did, and we guarantee to get to those questions. Top 5 answers on the board here. Top 5 answers on the board.
Oh, the answers are dwindling.
Which running back that has never been the running back 1 overall has the best shot to claim the throne in 2025?
My first guess would be somebody who has a very good chance to finish as running back 1 overall, and his name is Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson, far and away the number 1 answer on the board with 67 votes. That was the highest of any question that we have so far.
Yeah.
2 away from being my kind of number. Number 2 on the board is going to be somebody who's never taken a snap in the NFL ever. Somebody who's coming in, who's got the contact balance like no other, and that is Mr. Raider Ashton Genty. Put him on the board, please.
That is absolutely correct. That is the number 3 response, but with only 6 votes.
Oh,
wow.
So
these things are
Bijan
dwindling
was
fast.
far and away.
Yeah.
There was an okay second one, and then the bottom 3 low vote totals.
Okay. Well, number 1 chance at being the running back 1 overall. He's got to be studly. He's got to be handsome. He's got to have a good name. He's got to be as high as a plane. And that guy is Devon Achane.
Devon Achane, number 2 answer on the board. Good catch.
So the question was, my number got 2 guy, Derrick Henry. Was he ever a running back 1 overall? I don't think he was.
Didn't he rush for like 2,000 yards?
I know, that's where I'm really confused at. I've really messed up my brain a little bit here because I can't remember if he was a running back 1 overall. That is kind of tough on my noggin. I know Christian McCaffrey was. I gotta stop eliminating guys for Matt. What am I doing over here? That's just elimination.
No,
Go ahead.
No, talk out loud. This has been great. Let's
great.
workshop this thing a little bit. Come on.
Put up the guy who, for his first couple years, that I talked major smack on. And it was my motivational speaking of telling him, which was facts. He really wasn't even a running back 2 at that point. The facts were the facts. People go, oh, well, this guy, same guy that said Derrick Henry was trash. It was only up to the point where he was trash. And then I flipped the script. And that was Derrick Henry of the Baltimore Ravens. Put him on the board.
This one is a travesty. That is an X, unfortunately. Although he was never running back 1 overall. And I even gave all the people in the survey, the guys that had been a running back 1. But I think in everyone's mind, they were all like, oh, Derrick Henry's been a running back 1 overall. So nobody voted for him.
Show me, Garrett. Trevion Henderson.
Trey Henderson is unfortunately not on the board. He did get 2 votes, but like I said, nobody with under 4 made the list. So he is out. So that passes it over to Matt. Matt, this is not an easy one. The first couple, not too hard. These last 2, much more difficult.
Agreed.
I can't believe I gave Matt Isaiah Pacheco. I cannot believe it.
You can't believe you what? You gave me Pacheco? Is that what you said?
Yeah, sorry.
Give
For the layup, buddy. Anybody else I want to do that for? Anybody else I would not do it for. But for you, I give it to you.
All right, this is going to be silly, but I'm going to go Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs is correct.
Yes.
Josh Jacobs, number 4 answer on the board.
All right.
Josh Jacobs. Matt with the steal. He called it. He said the first steal is happening right here. And he sure enough, he did it. The last one on the board, Breece Hall with 4 votes. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that sometimes does have to end. But fortunately, today we've got you at least for 2 hours here on the Dynasty Roster Rescue here, powered by Dynasty Nerds. I'm here with my good friend, Andrew Mott. Andrew, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to get into some rosters. We also got Pete behind the scenes and making some magic happen. Pete, how you doing today?
Doing great. I've been making a lot of sourdough recently.
Really?
I made bagels. They
Is
turned
it
out to be good.
sourdough? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't like sourdough like this weird, like living organism type bread thing?
Yeah. It's the closest
Yeah.
thing that you can get to killing something and baking.
Yeah, that
It's not
sounds
weird at all.
terrifying.
Yeah, not weird. Garrett, we're matching today a little bit.
Ooh, twinsies. I could go put on a black hat.
It doesn't have the Dynasty Nerd logo. Maybe you guys got to
Oh.
send me a couple more.
We need to send you some nerd shirts. That's
Yeah.
for sure. We need to send you some for sure. All right. Well, we have so many roster rescues to get to today. So right off the rip, this is a nuke only show. If you're like, hey, I desperately want you to answer my my roster issues today, you have to nuke. That's the only way to get it in on this show. Now, you can still buy a roster rescue. It'll just be on a future show, Friday, Monday, something like that. But if you want to get it answered on this show, you have got to nuke. But we are still answering your trade questions. So if you just want to put a super chat on the side, and it's just got to be a little bit here, a little super chat, we'll answer those trade questions right in between our roster rescues. So, Pete, I know we've got a lot to do today. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. What do we have first today, Pete?
Well, we have Tony's roster as I add you guys to the stage. Ooh. Oh, no. Flip the names. So this is a 1 quarterback, 12 team league. The big question from Tony, though, is should I keep Jamar Chase and build around him or sell for 2 top 12 players like a Lad McConkey and an Ashton Genty?
Well, I'm a little confused because he doesn't have Jamar Chase.
Well, maybe you already did trade away.
He might have
Because
already made the trade.
This was last year. So last week, last year.
Last year.
Let's look at yeah, we're really backed up.
We're 365 days behind, folks.
I'm trying to figure out who you would sell Chase for because I'm not seeing
Yeah.
the return I would have liked to see for Chase on the roster.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
what's our guy's name here?
Go Pats Go is his name.
Unless it was Burrow.
No, I meant his real
see.
name. What's his real name? What's his Christian name?
Tony
Tony
Baloney.
Tony Baloney. If you are here, Tony, let us know what happened to Jamar Chase, because he seemed to just disappear, and we don't know what happened to him. And obviously, that makes a roster look a lot different if you don't have your superstar on the team. So let me know if you have him. If not, that's fine. But
We'll just
it
do it really
drastically
quick.
changes the
hit a little
evaluation of
refresh.
this team.
Yeah, we'll do a really quick refresh. This takes like 10 seconds. Well, I have your attention while I'm talking.
Okay, look at you.
Um,
This is your moment.
We try to answer trade questions if we have time. But what I love seeing, or not trade questions, like chat questions, all this stuff that are not super chats. But what I love seeing is people talking back and forth in the chat. So I want to encourage all you guys who are watching right now. If someone asks a question in the chat, just give your thoughts. Let's have multiple discussions going on at the same time. But
Love it.
anyway, refresh happened and no Jamar Chase. So
All right. Well, it doesn't sound like our guy Tony is here. We have a lot to get to, and I don't want to give him analysis that is not going to be helpful if he does or does not have him or whatever. So let's bump Tony.
well, this is his team though. Like I have confirmed it,
Okay. So we know
and
for
this
sure
is the
this
updated.
accurate as
Yeah.
of today. Huh.
But I'm fine with kicking it. But let's see. Let's just double check to make sure that there's not another Tony Baloney in here. No. So we can kick it, or we can.
All right. Well, let's just go through the team. If we're 100% sure this is his team, we'll go through it. And if there's something wonky that happened, let us know, Tony, and we'll try to help as best we can. So here we go. starting at the top at the quarterback position, we are currently 9th in dynasty mode. We have Joe Burrow, and then we have Matthew Stafford, Tyler Shuck, Daniel Jones. Running backs, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Trey Benson, J.K. Dobbins, DJ Giddens. Wide receiver, Tet McMillan, Chris Olave, Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Pittman, Kyle Williams, Darnell Mooney, and Stephon Diggs. At tight end, we have David Njoku, Hunter Henry, and Grant Calcaterra. But we do not have any draft picks from now until 2028 that are at least of any sort of consequence. So we're kind of all in, but we're in a kind of a tricky spot here, Andrew. Where are we at, Pete, in contender mode?
9th.
We are still absolutely in 9th. So, Andrew, I don't know about you, but in a perfect world, when I'm in a situation where I do not have my draft pick selections for the next few years, but I do not think I am going to be one of the legitimate contenders, and that's the hard part about this, Pete, is if Jamar Chase is on this team, I feel differently than I do right now. But like right now, I just don't think
this team has Chase.
So they do have Chase, but he didn't get back the Ashton Genty that he wanted. Because Ashton Genty's still there.
What's the quarterbacks look like for this team? Do you
James
think it was
Daniels.
Joe Burrow? Did he get Joe Burrow for
That doesn't make
Chase?
sense because it's one quarterback.
Maybe like a Joe Burrow and Tet or something in a 1 QB?
Oh man, I hope that wasn't the deal. What did he originally want? What was he originally trying to get, Pete?
So let's see. This was one of
I
those.
can even pull it up.
Yeah.
Ladd and Genty, and he doesn't have either one of those players. Something feels fishy to me.
We can kick it and I can just confirm.
Let's kick it because I don't know if Garrett and I can really give sound advice without knowing what happened here.
Yeah, so something feels fishy.
Okay.
Something feels fishy. There's no way you don't have a player of that caliber without like obvious pieces that you got in return. So
Yeah.
let's kick it, and then Tony, get back to us. Let us know what happened here, because we don't want to give you bad advice on faulty information.
But if this is your team, Tony, let's buckle down next time and we'll help you out. But
Absolutely,
this is a team
Okay.
that needs a roster rescue for sure.
For sure.
All right, on to the next one.
This is Matt, which we see Matt around a lot on the Discord and on the chat.
Nice.
So, and also, do we have a way, Garrett, to do ESPN? Another Matt just typed in.
Ooh, that's a Nick question. Probably Nick would know if
Because
we're
I
able
think
to
we
get.
need to install a extension. and, like,
Yeah. Now, what we could do, worst case scenario, is we have done this before when we have to. If you're willing to give us like your ESPN login information, we can go in and look at your team. It's just a lot easier and smoother when we can use this tool to kind of quickly get a glance at your team. But worst case scenario, yeah, if you want to give us your login, or yeah, you could take screenshots, type it out. We could always do that as well as a potential option.
And
But
if you want to do that, Matt, so you would buy the nuke and give all your just team details and everything, but then email your login info to peter@dynastynerds.com. That way I can pull
perfect.
it
All
up.
right, well, let's get to this, Matt, then. This, Matt, it's a 1 QB league. We've got Caleb Williams at quarterback, Chase Brown, Trey Benson, Brian Robinson, Zach Charbonnet at running back. At wide receiver, we have Zay Flowers, Xavier Worthy, DJ Moore, Jameson Williams, Ricky Pearsall, Josh Downs. And then at tight end, Isaiah Likely, Bretton Strange, and Pat Fryermuth. We have no picks. So this is really interesting. We have no first and 25, but we have tons of seconds. We have basically nothing other than a second and third and 26. But yet we have 327 firsts. So very, very unique situation with all of the picks, right now. We are in 8th in dynasty mode, and I'm guessing contender we're going to be in the same spot, if not lower. Where are we at, Pete?
8th.
Yeah, exact same spot. We are in 8th. So this one here, for me, Andrew, when I look at a team like this, and especially when I look at some of those top 3 or 4 teams there, we're pretty far behind the 8 ball. Yes, we could get somebody like Caleb Williams that could totally ascend. Chase Brown could potentially repeat. But even if everything goes right, you still don't have a truly legitimate RB2. You kind of have RB3s that you can hope to be an RB2. Wide receiver wise, we're looking at a lot of like wide receiver 3 types. And the tight ends are guys that I like. I like Isaiah Likely. I like Bretton Strange. Those are players that I want, but I don't want them as my starter. So right now, this is a lot of hoping and wishing. So where are you mentally with a team like this? Are you trying to go back and see if you can get your draft pick in 2026, knowing that you're going to have a hard time truly competing this year?
I don't mind that idea. I think really looking at the roster too, you know, guys like Chase Brown, Brian Robinson, like those guys sitting here in this running back room, they're short-term type of win now assets, not really going to be those long-term building blocks that you want to build around. And with the majority of the draft capital you are currently holding being in 2027, it does feel like this team with the young assets that you have in Caleb Williams and Likely and Strange and some of the other guys that we've mentioned, it does feel like we should be shooting for like 2027 to be the year that we start trying to be competitive in this roster. So, or I guess in this league. So if I'm doing that, like, I don't mind sending a Chase Brown to go get my first back. I don't mind, you know, moving a Brian Robinson to go grab a couple of future seconds. Like those would be moves that I'm trying to make, because if we are playing for the future, which is what I think we should be doing here, I don't really want to own any running backs on my roster for 2025 or 2026.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we're in complete agreement here. So Pete, where is our first round pick? Because if it's with a contender, that's a little easier to get back. If it's with a rebuild team, it's a little bit more difficult to get our own pick back.
Okay, let's go check it out.
Oh, team 4 looks like
that's
they have a lot of picks there.
Team 4. Yes. So it's
Mag
103.
place. Okay, and where are they at
And
in contender mode?
2020.
Yeah, they look like they're in full
West
rebuild.
Forest. They're one ahead of us.
All right, so they're kind of right in the middle of the road. They've
But
got
you look
some
at their
really
running
nice.
backs.
Yeah, they
They
have
had our
some really nice
25
receivers,
though.
but
It-
no running backs.
Would
Yeah.
you be looking to go
25
get
and
your
26.
26?
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
care
they're
about my
26 as well.
25 as much because we're too late. Like we're not going to win this year. I care about my 26, even though I'm not like huge on the 26 class. Like if we have a top 2 or 3 pick, there's going to be a very good player still there available for us. So I think for me, I don't care about this year's draft. I know that my team is going to be rough this season, but I kind of almost want it to be, and that'll allow me to be able to move forward. So this team's going to add probably Ashton Genty with 101, and then probably like a Travion with 103, and they're going to be in a pretty nice spot at running back, but they're going to think they're contending, and to trust 2 rookie running backs can be tough. So you give them a Chase Brown to get your pick back. I think that's going to be pretty appealing for them. So I think that's my absolute like must do move for this roster.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I would be moving that for the 26 first. And do you think you can get any more on top of that, or you think you kind of just got to take it face value 1 for 1 there?
It's unfortunately probably face value, simply because anytime you're trying to get your first back, someone's like, why do you want your pick
Upcharge?
back? Yeah, there's always the get your pick back upcharge. And honestly, he might even ask for more. Some guys are ruthless when it comes to that. So if I had to give something small on top, like whatever, I'll do it. But I think that's the must do move. Is I think we've got to get our first round pick back. Then we move to some of these other assets. I think tight end we leave alone. We've got some really nice tight ends for upside on our team, but I don't expect them to be crazy high scorers this year. If they are, awesome. That's great. But I think we're clearly moving Brian Robinson. That's an
Yep.
easy one to move. We're moving. What are our other running backs, Pete?
Trey Benson, Charbonnet, Garendo. Like, honestly, I'm okay moving any of them. And you may not have to move them today. Like, you could get, I mean, Kenneth Walker's been dealing with an ankle injury all spring. You know, he comes in banged up and Charbonnet becomes a starter at some point during the season. Sell immediately. Get that starter upcharge that you have on Charbonnet. And I think you can do the same with some of these other guys. I mean, the reality is all of the guys in front of them have been dealing with injuries or are older running backs. So Benson, Garendo, Charbonnet, just take advantage of opportunity when it shows. I don't think you have to sell those guys today, but they will be guys that I am moving mid-season.
Yeah, absolutely. Wide receiver is interesting here because, a little bit more of a shallow league because we're starting. It's only one quarterback. What do we got? 1, 2, 3,
9
4,
starters.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 starting
Yes.
spots. So in a little bit more of a shallow league, I'm not as worried about having like a crazy amount of wide receivers either. So I all of these guys are young enough that I'm not necessarily actively like feeling like I have to, sell any of these guys. But if there's somebody that comes calling about a player and I can get market value plus, then I'm very open to moving any of these guys because I don't think any of these players are game changers at the wide receiver position. I think there's a lot of good guys. I like Josh Downs quite a bit. I think Zay Flowers is a little bit underrated. Xavier Worthy could be off to a hot start. The only one that I would be, I don't know that I would say I'm actively moving him, but really looking at is DJ Moore. But I would prefer to wait for a big week or two and then try to sell because I think his value is a little bit depressed at the moment. But I think those are the other moves in season I'm making. Brian Robinson and just kind of seeing what people's temperature are on the receivers. And as you mentioned, if any of those upside running backs pop, totally good with selling any of those as well.
Yeah, I agree with DJ Moore too. I will say it does feel like his value is starting to, come up a little bit as of right now. It feels like kind of as like, season gets closer and everybody starts thinking of point scoring rather than, just who's the youngest guy I can put on my team. It does feel like people are kind of moving DJ Moore up the ranks. He's been trending up on, websites like Keep Trade Cut and things like that. Like he's been trending up. So just keep an eye out for him. There's a chance that early on he ends up having some big weeks for Ben Johnson and that Bears offense. And I would be trying to move him too, because I also, I'm going to kind of blend them together. But like my personal bias, my personal take is that I'm betting on a Rome Odunze breakout. And that's going to come at the detriment of a guy like DJ Moore. So if early on in the season, you do get some big weeks before the breakout happens for Rome, take advantage because I do think that Rome breakout's coming.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that kind of wraps things up here. I think it's pretty cut and dry. This team is kind of sitting in the middle. We want to get out of the middle. We want to be more of a rebuild. Let's get our pick back. And then life's going to be much easier for you because you do have, he has those 27 picks as well. And you got a lot of second round picks too. We've kind of glossed over that a little bit, but how many second round picks do we have here, Pete?
We have 208, 209, 202, and 210. So
yeah, I would have no problem packaging some of those to move up in the draft if there's a particular player I like or spot I like. If you're able to do that, cool. If not, there's going to be some good players available in those spots. 202, looking at a Jaden Higgins, a Cam Scattaboo, the different players like that. Then when you get in the 208 to 210 range, you're looking at some good value for some tight ends. I wouldn't mind like a Mason Taylor if he's still on the board. That would give you another kind of bullet in the gun of these upside tight ends and things like that. So a player like that would be intriguing. What's that?
Elijah Arroyo with Fant getting cut now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely somebody interesting there. You mentioned Scatabo. Are you drafting those running backs knowing that our plan here is to, shed running backs? Are you doing that? Or are you going to lean towards the wide receivers?
I'm big in my drafts. I'm very big on like best player available, period. Trades is where I'm willing to like kind of fudge that a little bit more. But on my drafts, I never want to lose value. So whoever the top guy is on his board, that's who I'm taking. And then I'll trade Cam Scattaboo if I don't want to get the points or whatever. I just don't ever want to
Mhm.
like lose value on a draft pick. I'm willing to lose value on trades, but I never want to like take the lower tier player just because I have a position of need or lack thereof.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm just saying more too in the range of like you're on the clock. That's probably the time that pick's going to be the most valuable for you, or
Sure.
one of the few times that it's the most valuable. And like rather than best player available is Scattaboo and you go pick him, throw it up on the block. See if you can go get, a wide receiver that's younger or something. Maybe it doesn't have to be the rookie, but you can go get a young wide receiver that you can plug into the lineup, or a tight end, or maybe just like a backup QB. I know it's one QB, but having like Caleb Williams is the only guy on the roster, I'd probably like to see you add one more.
If it's an upside guy, I'm not really in a one QB like a Shuck isn't really like doesn't change the game for me. But like a Milrow, like that could be a one QB guy that's like actually makes a difference at the quarterback position, if that makes sense.
I don't like Tyler Shuck in Superflex, so that's just I'd rather just take the shot on Milrow or Dart or these guys.
I think
Pete.
he's not. I think he's not very good. People just tell me to look like him.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one.
He ranks high on the Pete score.
On the Pete
okay,
score.
so this is Ashton. Maybe this is Ashton Genty.
It might be Ashton Genty. I bet he plays Dynasty Fantasy Football. Did anybody see the video that was supposedly of him at that Applebee's?
Yes.
That wasn't him, right? There's no way that was him.
I think it was him. I'm pretty sure.
Was it actually him in full uniform?
I'm pretty sure because they said that it was for a commercial or something he was shooting.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What a tryhard.
Dude's just chilling on a bench, like in front of Applebee's in full uniform. Dude, I was cracking up. All right. Who do we got here? We've got another one QB league. Who's our target here? Oh, you said Ashton is his name, right? Yeah, that's who we were talking about. All right, Ashton. Ashton, we I'm
you're our target now.
Yep, you're our target. All right. Drake May, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis at quarterback. At running back, we've got Jonathan Brooks, Will Shipley, Cam Akers, Kendre Miller. Wide receivers, Marvin Harrison, Jerry Jeudy, Jordan Addison, Michael Pittman Jr., Marvin Mims, Tank Dell, Jalen Coker. And then tight ends, Isaiah Likely, Pat Freiermuth, Ben Sinnott, and Eric All. But Ashton is about to get Ashton. He's got the 101, the 106, and the 109. He's got all of his future picks as well with an additional 27 first. I like that. An additional 26 second. So this is clearly a rebuild team, but I like the way that this is going. So for our guy Ashton here, why don't we bust out the mock draft machine here, Pete?
We'll bust it out.
Look at that ninja
for our target Ashton. Let's see. What's sweating beers?
Alex said he just traded Burrow for Purdy, Benson, and a 26 and 27 first in a startup Superflex league. I like getting 2 first-round picks on top of Purdy. I think that's a good deal, and Benson's a fine throw-in. So don't mind that at all, Alex.
I mean, we know who to click here, right? Let's go on to 106.
All right, Hunter Hampton. All right, so in a one quarterback, I know the news has not been positive. Are you still going with Quinshon Judkins here, Andrew, or are you moving off of him?
Nope, I am not drafting Quinshon Judkins here. And it's not, because I don't like him as a talent. Obviously, there's just more information that we have today than we had, right after the NFL draft. I had him and Egbuka in the same tier of prospect for me. So the fact that we have negative news about one of these guys and fairly positive news about the other, I think we've had for the most part of the early parts of training camp. And you have the Chris Godwin ankle thing kind of just the other day. I don't know if you caught that, Garrett, where it's like he's still trying to work his way in. He's not going to be a full participant in camp. So I'm going to just take Egbuka here. He's the guy who I said was kind of in that same tier, and I'll just lean his way.
I'm okay with that. Oh wow, Pete, you don't even let me talk.
He
anymore.
was
I
just
don't
so
get to say.
confident.
Wow. That's it is.
I like it. I like it.
This is the 30th episode, man. Our peak is already gone way behind us, so
Way behind us. No, real quick on that. I'm okay going either way. I think Quinshawn is the slightly better player, but the reason I'm more okay with it is because of the situation of the team that we are looking at here. This is a true rebuild team. I'm much more willing to wait on a receiver with a team like this than I am on a team that is trying to win right now. So I am actually okay with the move as well. So Dennis traded his coworker 3 donuts for 2 pizza puffs.
this might be the worst trade I've seen.
I'm definitely taking the 3 donut side for sure.
I'm taking the donuts. I might
Does
take
it
one
matter
donut.
if they're the big donuts or the small donuts?
Yeah,
either
that
way,
does make a
it's the
difference.
donuts.
Like donut
Like-
holes.
Donut holes? Yeah, I mean, then I'd probably lean the pizza puffs, but if it's normal donuts,
Like the little
I would
Debbie's.
take one regular donut over
The
two.
little Debbie's?
Debbie powdered donut.
Yeah.
unpopular
we need to know this
opinion,
information.
this is going to get me crucified too, I think. Powdered donuts are so overrated. I don't even
No,
like
I'm
powdered
okay
donuts
with
like
that. I'm
Yeah,
okay
I'm
with
fine
that.
I
I
people
like-
love
You
powdered
just-
donuts.
You just kind of assumed that we were super powdered donut friendly here, huh?
Well, it's the first one that came off of your tongue, so I'm
Do-
figuring that
Do we
that was
seem
the
like
one you
we're
like.
powdered donut people, huh?
I guess so. I mean,
My-
they are the ones that you get
All
at the
right, real
gas
quick,
station,
real
right?
quick,
It's
because
the
this
powdered
is super
donuts.
important. Real quick. Pete, favorite donut.
Maple bar.
Okay, Andrew, favorite donut.
I just like a normal frosted one. It could be either vanilla or
Typical
strawberry
glazed
frosting
donut?
on it.
Oh,
No,
like
the
strawberry
frosted,
frosting.
like with either vanilla or strawberry frosting.
Both great choices. Mine is
I don't
like
know if I've ever
some
had
people tell
one
me
with
it's not even a
frosting on it.
donut. So you guys can tell me what you think. I'm a big apple fritter guy.
Okay.
I really like apple fritters. Are those
I thought you were
donuts
gonna
or
say
no?
like potato chip or something. That's a donut.
I think
A
they're donuts, but
chalupa.
your age might be showing there too, Garrett.
Oh,
I like a good old bear claw.
And my age might be showing when I'm saying the frosted ones with the sprinkles. So
sprinkles, please. Sprinkles, please. Okay. All right. Pick 10 here. I think this is the perfect range to go with a Caleb Johnson or an RJ Harvey. I think either one I can understand. Andrew, I know you weren't here for all of this. I have some trust issues a little bit with RJ Harvey, partly just how much he was elevated post-draft. We see historically guys that get elevated in our rankings a ton post-draft tend to be misses, about 3 times more likely to miss than guys that don't. So I have a little bit of trust issues with RJ Harvey. However, Rich is a big RJ Harvey fan, really, really likes him. So for me, I would go Caleb Johnson here, but I can understand either one. How do you feel about it?
I hear both arguments because I did like Harvey pre-draft process. I did not expect him to go round 2. I don't think anybody can say that they did. The landing spot for Denver was probably one of the best, if not the single best landing spot that I think, somebody could have went to, maybe outside of the Los Angeles Chargers. And so I think all of that considered, I don't mind drafting Harvey here, but if you're comfortable with Caleb, I had him higher in my rankings pre-draft than Harvey did.
Yeah, I think for me, it's Caleb Johnson. So that kind of helps, especially because we want to get you some running backs eventually. We're just not rushing out to do it. But right now, the next couple classes do not seem to be filled with running backs. So this is going to give you an opportunity to get some running backs on this roster. Now you have Ashton Genty and Caleb Johnson to go along with your Emeka Buka. So I think this makes the passing on Quinshawn Judkins look even a little bit better.
This isn't a tight end premium, right?
Correct.
I don't think so. I think it's just a straight.
Okay, because if it was
tight end premium.
premium, I would have said we probably should have leaned Loveland.
Yeah, I don't believe this is a tight end premium here.
It's also 4-point passing touchdown, so we
Okay.
just really hate quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah, unless they
Fair.
have a little bit of
Kyle
rushing
Williams,
upside, like a
212.
guy like Jackson Dart.
There we go.
I would have no problem with either Elijah Aurora or Terrace Ferguson here. I'd like either one.
Yeah, I don't have a strong preference between the two. I think I would lean Arroyo. But I would.
So I had
would-
higher pre-draft. So.
Yeah, I had him higher pre-draft as well, and it's only improved for him, I think, situations since then. I would toy with Dart here. You're not even looking at him, huh, Garrett?
In a 1 QB, I already have Drake May. I feel good about him. Anthony Richardson's like my rocket ship, just in case. Like, do I feel like he's going to do anything? No. But is there a 10% chance he goes back to what we thought he could be? Yeah. So for me here,
It's like a rocket ship.
getting a
that,
backup
like,
quarterback
Canada
is just
made
so
or something.
easy in 1 QB that I'd really rather not, unless I think it's somebody that has crazy upside.
Fair enough.
So
yeah,
would
I'm cool with Aurora.
Curious, Garrett, would you draft Milroe over Dart in a 1 quarterback?
I don't think I would. I think I'd still take Jackson Dart first. He does have enough rushing upside to be interesting. It's just it's a really tough spot. So that makes it a little bit tricky for me. And he was a good quarterback. I didn't have him as like a great quarterback coming out, but he's a good quarterback. The rushing upside does make him interesting. So yeah, I would still have Jackson Dart. I'm taking a 1st round quarterback over the 3rd round quarterback, even with the ceiling that Milroe has. Plus, we already have Anthony Richardson, which is just a slightly older version of Jalen Milroe. So that's our rocket ship. So we don't really need another one. All right. So yeah, I think Aurora is kind of what we settled on.
Yep.
All right. So we'll go Elijah Aurora here at 301. And then I think that's it for our picks, right? Or do we have another one? Yeah, I think that's it.
Nope, that's it.
So Ashton Genty, Emeka Ibuka, Caleb Johnson, and Elijah Aurora. And honestly, I feel good about this.
Yep, I like it.
All right, so let's go back to our team here, Pete.
Yep.
All right, so we have we're the lowest in contender. The only bummer about getting an Ashton Genty and getting a Caleb Johnson is they are going to make us better. Like, they're going to add points to our team, which is tough. But when they're young guys like that, you kind of just deal with it because you're not moving them unless a contender comes for Ashton Genty and wants to drastically overpay. Okay, I'll listen to a king's ransom type offer for a guy like that if you want to give it to me. But chances are you're probably just sitting pat with those guys on your team. But now you look at your roster and you say, okay, I have Drake May at quarterback. I have Ashton Genty, Caleb Johnson at running back. I have Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Ibuka, Jerry Jeudy, Jordan Addison at wide receiver. And then at tight end, who were other ones? It was like Likely and I think it was Likely and Fryermuth.
In it, and Fryermuth.
Yeah. And so you add Aurora to that group,
Garrett.
a lot of high-end guys.
You make the Ashton Genty pick. Somebody comes to you and says they want Ashton Genty from you. You're moving him for like a wide receiver. Where are you willing to like do the 1-for-1s? BTJ and Genty, are you making the swap on this roster?
I would still want Ashton Genty. It's close. I have him higher in my rankings. And part of it is you just look at where we're already strong. We're really strong at receiver, potentially, assuming these guys hit. Whereas we have nothing at running back. And you look at the next few classes too, kind of planning ahead. If this was last year and we knew that this class was coming up, then I might feel a little bit differently. But knowing that we're going to have a hard time finding some running backs outside of the top 2 or 3 picks, probably in the next few years, that kind of makes me a little hesitant there.
Fair enough.
Now, somebody comes with Malik Neighbors, though. Malik Neighbors would get the job done for me.
Lamb, CeeDee Lamb, something like that. I'm down.
Lamb's a good one. Lamb's a good one.
I do Lamb.
Because we're getting a lot older. We're getting a lot older with CeeDee Lamb, but he's still got, 4 or 5 years left.
Yeah, he's 26. Like, I feel like people, it's like you get to that weird range where it's like once you hit 27, everybody's thinking that you're hitting 30 next year. Like, that's the way that people act in the space.
Sure.
I do feel like, like you said, you get 5 more years of probably Lamb being a top 12 guy.
It's just so much harder to get a running back for a 5-6 year stretch. Like, it's just so like, try to go by Bijan, try to go by Gibbs right now. Like, it's impossible. So I guess it all depends on how you actually feel about Genty. Do you think that he will enter that type of tier this year? Then I think I'm actually probably holding out. If you don't think that he's that special, you just think he's a good running back and he's going to kind of fall into our, running back 6-7 type of range, then absolutely go get a CeeDee Lamb. So I think that more depends on how you feel about him as a player.
Agreed.
All right. Any other moves that we're making here? I think honestly, I don't think we're gonna do anything too crazy outside of that. Is there anybody else that you're looking to trade or move?
Can I just see the wide receivers one more time, Pete?
Yeah.
I'd entertain Judy and Pittman if somebody came along and wanted them, but I'm just not a big Judy guy in general. I think that's more a personal take than it is, just I don't know. I don't love Judy, but I also think that there's a chance here that Judy could start out hot with Joe Flacco throwing the football to him to start the year. But I think we all kind of know a quarterback change is probably going to happen at some point in time, and then it's who knows what happens.
Yeah, I think I would be okay with that too. Pittman's definitely an in-season one though. Because right now his value is just so crazy low. That it just isn't, the juice isn't worth the squeeze there. But yeah, other than that, I think you've done a great job of you've shucked off a lot of value at the running back, so you don't really have anything to worry about there. You've really done what would be a good traditional rebuild. Pete, why is that so funny?
Did you just use that word in regular talk? Shuck?
Yeah. You just
what?
shucked.
Are you from Iowa?
Yeah, it's a little bit corn here. What's wrong with that? You never
no
shuck
hate
some
towards
corn?
Iowa. But
just get rid of it, man.
I can't think of the last time I've heard someone say I thought you were trying to make a pun.
No, I have a vast vocabulary. What can I say?
Yeah, he's educated here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, best of luck moving forward, our friend Ashton.
Blood, sweat.
Oh, we have a
nuke, but not from Matt. John beat us. John beat Matt. So
beat him to the punch.
Yep. So
all right. So
I'm still switching over. Here we go.
All right. Well, John has a 12-team league here. Start 11. So this is a little bit of a deeper one here.
Yep.
6 point per passing touchdown. PPR league 0.25 for wide receiver bonus, and then a full point for tight end premium. But then we also have 0.25 points per carry. So they're getting a lot of points overall. But they've kind of tried to balance it out with some of the scoring things and whatnot. He's a little bit worried about running back here. So let's see what we can do. This is a Superflex tight end premium league. Right now, this team is in third place in dynasty mode. We have Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Milroe. Running back wise, we've got Breece Hall, James Cook, Bayshal Tootin, Rashad White, Marshawn Lloyd, Trevor Etienne. Wide receivers, Malik Neighbors, Emeka Ibuka, Jerry Jeudy, Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, Keon Coleman, Adonai Mitchell. And then at tight end, we have Tucker Kraft, Evan Ingram, Cade Otton, and Hunter Henry. This team has I shouldn't say all of their picks. This team has their first in 2026, missing the second, though, and third, but has all their first round picks over the next couple of years, as well as the seconds in 27 and 2028. So looking at this team here, let's look at the contender mode real quick, Pete.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
Third.
Same spot. But we see our team and team number 2, especially team number 2, is really buoyed by a lot of quarterbacks, and you can only start 2. So my guess is truly we're probably ahead of them by a little bit. But here's the 2 things that I'm thinking right off the rip, Andrew. Tell me what you think. What's up, Taylor? Appreciate you, homie. Here's the 2 things that I'm thinking right off the rip. We currently have 4 starting quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there is a move that could potentially be made there.
Absolutely.
And we still have our 2026 first, and we are looking like a contender. So I'm interested in moving that because I think he's correct. I think there is some worry for me at running back, but also wide receiver is deep, which is good because this is a deep league. But it could use a little bit of love. It could use a little bit of love.
I agree.
So all of that, where are you headed, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to try and swing for the fences here and see if we can throw either a T-Law or a Kyler. I guess it comes down to whoever you believe in more is the guy that you want to keep. I would probably keep Kyler. So I would be packaging Trevor and my first, and I would honestly try and go see if we can add another wide receiver to the roster.
Trevor in a first and try to add another wide receiver. All right. So let's see what's out here and potentially available for us. What teams really need a quarterback and or could use some draft picks in their future? Let's go all the way down to the bottom team there, Pete. What's team 12 got going on right now?
Gino.
Yeah, they desperately need a quarterback. This is an amazing team to trade with. Wow. And interesting though, they've got some pieces, but they desperately need a quarterback. So, are you trying to who are you trying to go after here? Because I don't think he's moving on off of his young running backs at all. But we definitely have a receiver in Garrett Wilson that would be a very nice addition to this team.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have to throw something more in though with Wilson. I think the first and T-Law should command a little bit of a better player than Wilson.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would want more.
I mean, you could argue, do you think, Superflex format, you can toy with a T-Law for Garrett 1-for-1? Could we keep the first and use the first to throw in with something else and upgrade? Or maybe instead of a first, it's a second?
We might be able to. The thing that we might be able to also do is he has a need at receiver. So giving up a receiver is going to be hard for him. Can we throw in a lower tier receiver with T-Law?
We could give him our Igbuka. We have Igbuka, and it would fit his timeline of kind of rebuilding. Or was that the other? Yeah, we have Igbuka.
Yep.
Or a Keon. Does he like Keon Coleman?
Keon
maybe?
Coleman would be. I like that.
I would love to do Keon Coleman. I don't know that he would want that, but I would love to do that. Honestly, I would throw in Keon Coleman and Adonai Mitchell and a third or something like that. And hey,
with Trevor,
yep. As hey, here's some upside players for your rebuild. I hope one of these guys hits for you, kind of thing. He might be willing to go for that.
Yeah, we could spare a tight end too. So if he liked Otten or something, we could give him Otten.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think that's the first move. I think we go after him with Trevor Lawrence. Or honestly, I don't see them as drastically different. If he likes Kyler Murray, then it truly could just be a 1-for-1 trade. Hey, you give us Garrett Wilson, we'll give you Kyler Murray. Done and done.
Ouch, John said.
I sent
Never
Keon.
mind.
He's
probably not that high on
yeah.
Keon Coleman. We
Keon.
haven't asked you. I don't think I've heard, Andrew. What are your thoughts on Keon Coleman? Did you like him very much coming out into the NFL?
No, there was back when we were doing our draft process last year when I was with BDGE. There was many debates about Keon Coleman where I was on the side of I don't like the player. I thought he had some really fun highlights. If you typed in Keon Coleman highlights on YouTube, you probably liked what you saw. But when it came down to watching him play wide receiver, I felt like he was really a guy that needed a lot of work. And going to a team, kind of like what you were saying, Garrett, with RJ Harvey, the landing spot moved Keon up boards pretty rapidly as well. And everybody wanted the guy attached to Josh Allen. But yeah, I didn't love him that much. But also, it's not to say that I'm 100% accurate because I also like Troy Franklin pre-draft last year as well. And then he goes in the 4th round and basically gave us nothing.
I can honestly say I was anti-Troy Franklin and Keon Coleman, but I looked like a big dummy because I was not super high on Brian Thomas Jr. So we all have our misses. We all have our misses.
And I've never hit.
There you go. There
it's
you go.
happening this year. You know, who were you high on this year?
Who was it? Oh, Trey Harris.
Okay, so it's
So-
going to
Trey
happen
Harris?
this year. Trey Harris is going to be a superstar.
Or I
You're
mean,
overdue.
Jonathan Mingo. Yep.
You're overdue. All right. So
And
yeah,
if-
if
you
you're
know
able
what?
to package all those together, with Trevor, cool. I'm just as fine. Honestly, maybe even would like even more to just trade Kyler straight up for Garrett Wilson and kind of keep all those lottery ticket scratch offs and could send them somewhere else or just let them sit on my bench and see what happens. Dennis says Kyler, Judy in a second get you close to CD. Maybe where's CD at? Depends on the team.
Let's see.
Kyler's also a guy that I think the community is low on at the moment.
I think so too. But he's still getting usually like third round draft capital in a
Distant.
startup. Maybe
Distant
early
and
fourth.
Yeah, they don't want Kyler. They have the 2 starters already.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're good. They need a running back desperately though. All right, so one of those deals. Hopefully, we're able to get that done because we know quarterbacks always are more expensive in trades than they are in the startup. Trying to get a quarterback off somebody and not giving a quarterback back is tough to do. So I think either one of those deals are a real possibility. So that handles that. I am with this guy though. I am a little bit worried about this running back room. I think 2 years ago we would have felt really, really good about having Breece Hall and James Cook as our 2 starting running backs. But I'm always worried about holdout guys. That is always a big concern for me. And especially a team that has somebody behind him, like a Ray Davis, that I think is a pretty solid asset. So if there's a team that has him as a throw-in, I would kind of like to get Ray Davis on this roster just to kind of insulate my James Cook a little bit. But on top of that, I do think we need somebody else on this roster. So I'm willing to give my first and maybe something else, depending on who might be available. So Pete, looks like Team 10 down there has a lot of running backs. What do they have
Side
available
note,
for us?
LaQuint Allen is available on waivers in this league. I would just scoop him up.
No problem with that. Lucky,
Team
Quinshawn.
10 or Team 9?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You big
Byron
LaQuint Allen
Kamara.
fan there?
What's that?
No, but it's better than a lot of some of the I would rather have him than
CH.
like CH or something.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
at least get a rookie who's probably not going to do anything than a vet who's probably not
At least
gonna do
give the man a chance.
Hey, I was a big Kennedy Brooks guy.
You were a big Kennedy Brooks fan. That is true.
Well,
I
my
remember
guy-
you messaged me like,
Winner.
why is nobody talking about this guy? And I'm like, because he sucks. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
Go ahead, Garrett. I don't want to get us too far off track here.
Yeah.
no, we're good. So this is an interesting team to kind of deal with because we still in theory have our first, but these are not necessarily players I want to give my first for. But if there's a way to maybe package some things, we did kind of talk about, especially with having to start 11, adding potentially a receiver to this mix. We did add Garrett Wilson. We might have been getting rid of some guys in that process. Would an Alvin Kamara plus a Cortland Sutton, would that be enough for you to give your first, or would you still be hesitant on that?
I'm still hesitant there. Maybe if it was Kamara and DK, I'm a little bit more interested just because I feel like I have some more longevity there, but I guess you still have quarterback questions with Rodgers long term. He's already even said that this is his last year. So I don't know.
Teams
I
might
mean,
be
really,
hesitant to give up DK for less than a first. I think most people that have him want a first.
it's weird because it's like that is what people want, but I don't think anybody's willing to give you the first for DK right now.
Right.
Unless it's like in season and we can see the points being scored or something like that. But I really don't mind throwing something in to get up to Kyron. I like Kyron. I think Kyron's going to be a great pick. So he would be the guy that I would try and target. I would just try and go after the home run swing here with Kyron.
So you would just give up your first straight up to get Kyron Williams?
I would absolutely be willing to give the first. I would consider a first plus something to do it.
I don't think I can give a plus because I am a little worried about Kyron because he's in a similar boat right now. He hasn't been as vocal about it, but he's threatening with a holdout too. So now you kind of put yourself in a tough spot with potentially two guys that are going to hold out.
Didn't he just say yesterday that I'm going to be here and I'm going to be practicing? Like,
oh, really?
Was very firm in the way that he said it yesterday. He's like, I'm here and I'm practicing. I'm working. I want a contract.
If that's the case, I feel a lot
practicing.
better then. If that's the case, I feel a lot better then.
Yeah, I think that was a quote that. Let me confirm that, but I'm pretty sure he said yesterday.
I'm looking it up right now. You can.
Okay, perfect. All right, if that's the case, then I'm willing to do that because Kyron Williams, even though I still have a little bit of question marks around his long-term future, I do like Jarquez Hunter, and I think they're eventually going to be getting somebody else involved. I would be okay on this specific team. So if we add a Garrett Wilson, we add a Kyron Williams to this roster. Now, all of a sudden, let's go back to our team here, Pete. Now we're looking at Jaden Daniels, and let's just say it's do we want to say it's the Trevor Lawrence trade? Either one. You either have Kyler or Trevor Lawrence as your QB2. You have Matthew Stafford as your QB3. So you didn't really lose anything as far as your starting lineup goes. But now you added a Kyron Williams to Breece Hall, James Cook. So now you have three legitimate starting running backs. Now at wide receiver, we have Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin. We can now wait on Chris Godwin because we'll see if he's actually ready to go right away. Jerry Jeudy can start for us. Scroll down a little bit, Pete, there for me. And then, I guess we'll have to see still between Emeka Ibuka and Chris Godwin. But with the premium here, you can start the two tight ends with Evan Ingram and Tucker Kraft and still feel pretty good about it. And now I think that puts us right where we want to be to be able to contend with that top tier team. Because I think 2's a little bit phony just because they have so much invested in that quarterback position, but they're not as strong everywhere else. So I think it would come down to us in that top tier team. The Chinese Bandits there. I think it would be between the two of us.
So for clarity on that Kyron Williams thing, he was asked yesterday when he showed up to camp whether there was any discussions about potentially holding out now that he's trying to get a new contract. And he said, to me, there was no discussions. There was no decisions of holding out. He said he wants to be playing football and it's important for him to be there with his teammates.
Perfect. All right. Well, that makes me feel a lot better then about a guy like Kyron. Would you give up a 27 second and third for Monty?
Yep.
I would have zero issue doing that. He seems especially motivated this year. Listening to some of his press conference stuff the other day, and all of that's conjecture. I mean, we'll have to see if that actually translates to the field or not. But seems especially motivated after kind of the injury last year. And I think everybody's all about Jahmyr Gibbs now, which they're tight, they're boys, but he's still an athlete. He's still a competitor. He's like, hey, I'm still here. Like, I'm still a part of this thing. And we've seen him year in and year out just be running back two. So that would really solidify your running back room, and I'd feel good about that.
And you get those stories, too, of like where they're going to put Gibbs in on the goal line, and he's like, David, come get in. And then David's on the goal line. He's like, Jahmyr, come get in. Like, they're just like trying to get each other into the end zone.
They're boys.
Yeah.
Yep, they're boys. But you also have potentially,
O-line
even though he's somebody that you can start, you have an elite handcuff. Because if Gibbs goes down, Monty's going to absolutely eat.
What do you take of the probably some regression there from that O-line with the retirement from their
Frank
center
Ragnow.
and some other stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. You lose Frank Ragnow, you lose Ben Johnson as your offensive coordinator. Those things are obviously disappointing. But with that being said, this is still going to be a team with the same type of mentality, the same type of attitude that they've had, because Dan Campbell's still the head coach, and a lot of those key pieces are still there. So could we see a slight tick down in production? Sure. But we were looking at the most efficient offense in football last year. If they moved to 6th or 7th, you still have a very good asset on your hands.
Yep. Caleb, you can't hold me responsible for things I say as a fan and not as a dynasty analyst.
Although Rich was getting pretty close with JJ.
Rich loves some JJ as well.
Yeah.
Rich is
Dude,
absolutely.
if you get me speaking as a Vikings fan, the JJ McCarthy takes come out crazy. But if I try and pump the brakes, when I'm speaking dynasty, just to keep it realistic. But I have high hopes for JJ McCarthy. I think the kid's going to be the truth.
Hey, Rich Dotson when he has his Browns hat on, he can't think clearly. So I understand. All right, let's move on to our next one here.
Okay, so this is gonna be a little interesting because this is phone screenshots.
Hey, we're gonna make it work. We're men of the people.
First of all,
all right, like we always say, if you nuke, you get to cut the line, and that's what our guy Matt did here today. He said, "Hey, stop talking about all these other teams. Talk about my team, please." So we're gonna be switching it up. Normally, we have all of these as part of our Dynasty GM tool, which you can get if you can get it for free. Actually, if you sign up with Fast Draft, that's the QR code there on the left-hand side. Amazing app there. All you got to do is use promo code NERDS. They're going to double your deposit up to $50. So you give them 50, you get another 50. That's $100 there to use an amazing platform. But we also give you all of our tools, all of our extra podcasts, absolutely free. So that's what we normally use. But here, we're men of the people. And he said, look, we're on ESPN. How can I make this work? And we said, give us those screenshots and we will make it work. So we're gonna be kicking it old school today. All right. So right now, looking at this team, is everybody on the bench, Pete? Okay, yeah, let's give us the starters first. So we've got Jaden Daniels, Ashton Genty, Bijan Robinson, Stephon Diggs, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Bretton Strange, Caleb Johnson. We're still going with the kickers and defense. We got the Cardinals and Harrison Butker. But then bench-wise, Elijah Roro, Josh Downs, Harold Fannin, Jake Ferguson, Terrace Ferguson, Isaiah Likely. That's a lot of tight ends. Pat Mahomes, Jordan Mason, Drake May, Rashee Rice, Cedric Tillman, Jalen Wright. And then do we have one more, or is that it, Pete?
I'm looking up the. That's it.
Okay. All right. So the first thing for me, right away, because this is a 1 QB, correct, Pete?
I am double checking.
If Mahomes is on the bench, it has to be, right?
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's one quarterback.
All right. So with it being one quarterback, with you having Pat Mahomes and Drake May, two like very enticing options at the quarterback position, I'm definitely seeing if there's other teams. How many teams are in this league, Pete? Is it 10 or 12?
So this is a 12 team. Also, picks wise, he has 2 future firsts.
Okay. Do we know if those are in
26? That's
26 or
26 and 27. If you can let us know, Matt.
Okay.
To be honest, I didn't even know ESPN did Dynasty.
I don't think they do. I think they
gotta like
this league
re-roll it
probably
over.
just does all the manual labor. It makes it work. I remember
Get your commissioner
doing that.
to switch over, man.
Go to sleep,
This
man.
gave
It'll
him
make
so
your life
much work.
easier. Yes. So yes, it is 12 team.
Yes.
And yes, 26 and 27 first. So he's got all of his assets. So for me, yeah, I'm right away. I'm looking at the quarterback position saying,
Yep.
hey, does somebody need one? Because in a 12-teamer, Pat Mahomes is obviously going to be an upgrade for somebody. And there's going to be somebody that's, the Garrett Price of your league that really believes in Drake May. And so I think either way, you're going to be able to make a move. I don't want to move both of them, but I do want to move one of them. Right now, you are elite at running back. Ashton Genty, Bijan Robinson. If you're not the best team in your league, you are one of the best teams in your league at the running back position. So I think that's an absolute home run there. My really only concern is twofold. One, do we have enough depth at wide receiver? Because obviously Malik Neighbors is super exciting, and we think Marvin Harrison will have a good year. But we don't know for sure. After that, we have Rashee Rice, who's going to be missing some time. I think once he comes back, he will be an amazing asset. But you never know, coming off injury and suspension. That's a lot. That's a lot going on. Pick trading, having on a spreadsheet. I remember those days, Matt. I remember those days. It was like 6-7 years ago, but I remember those days. So that means at this point we're having to start Stephon Diggs, which I like Stephon Diggs, and I think he could have a good season. But on a team that's a contender like this, I don't want to have to start Stephon Diggs. And then when I look at the tight end position right now, it's Bretton Strange, and then we have like 3 or 4 of them, right?
It's likely Harold Fanning, Terrence Ferguson, Jake Ferguson. It's Arroyo. It looks like this was the final piece that you're trying to put together, and you're just going to take as many shots as you can. But maybe I'm skipping ahead here, Garrett, but I've been telling people all offseason, if you're a contending roster and you're weak at tight end, there's no better thing to do, and assuming you have your first-round picks in the future, there is no better thing to do than go send the George Kittle manager a first-round pick for George Kittle. I'm willing to do it every time. I think that's a 100%. Fair offer, at least to get the conversation started, and I'd be willing to give even a little bit more on top of that.
Throw in Ferguson. Throw in one of those guys with it if you need to.
Yep, because I truly do believe George Kittle, like, I know everybody in Dynasty, like, it's Bowers and McBride, those are the guys that everyone wants because of their youth, but I will not be surprised if 2025 George Kittle is the tight end 1.
Because here's the reason I love that so much. And if the guy that has Kittle won't move him, there's other players that you can go out and get. It's going to be probably too expensive to go get Bowers or McBride, but there's other guys that can at least fill in for this year. Johnny Smith. My favorite personally, David Njoku. I just released a video talking about the path to him potentially being the number 1 overall tight end. So I think he's another one that's very okay. Kittle owner's a big homer for the 49ers. So that's going to be a tough one to get off of his roster. But sure. David Njoku, Jonnu Smith, somebody along those lines, I think they're not super difficult to acquire, but could truly give you more solid production out of that spot. But then what that does is it also frees up your roster, because right now these are very shallow rosters and you're using 5 roster spots on tight ends, right? Or 6. Yeah. 5 or 6. Like, you're using a lot of, and I understand it. You're just doing your best to try to find that guy. But if you can find somebody that you're confident in, now you can have 2, at most 3 tight ends on your roster and free up that space for upside running back plays. Because as good as your running backs are, and they're very good, if Bijan or Genti gets hurt, now Caleb has to start. Now a guy like, Rasheed or Stephon Diggs has to go in the flex spot. So that all of a sudden makes you a little bit shallow. So I think Hawkinson owner wants a first. Ooh.
I would throw a first to Hawkinson.
I think I would too. I would be willing to do that. And if you're hesitant on that, I'm cool. But I would like then try to get back a second or something like that with it. But I think that's a fair asking price, because your team's ready to compete. Like, your team's ready to win now. So I don't know about you, Andrew. I'm guessing as a TJ Hawkinson Vikings fan, you're all right with that.
Let's pump the brakes. Dynasty analysis is coming out, not Vikings analysis. But no, I mean, for me in my dynasty rankings, like, Kittle and Hawkinson are 2 guys that should be in the same tier. I think both of these guys have reason to be in the top 4 conversation, at the top 5 conversation at the tight end position. So, if I'm willing to make the move of a first-round pick for Kittle, yeah, I think Kittle probably has the higher upside this year. But Hawkinson is the younger asset as well. And so, you get a little bit of the youth, maybe not as high of the ceiling. Totally okay with you going to get Hawkinson and plugging in a guy that I think is a top 5 dynasty tight end right now.
I totally agree with that. I have both Kittle and Hawkinson ahead of Warren and Loveland right now in my ranking.
Me too.
So no issue with that at all.
If I'm this other team, by the way, and this team comes up and wants a missing piece, like, there's no way I'm selling for less than a first. You know what I mean? Because
I understand it on their
extra part. Yeah. So
what I would be curious about is trade. Matt, as you're watching here, what other pieces does this team have? Because that would be something that maybe there's a larger trade to be made there, because I know you said you want to use your first and later deals, which I totally respect and understand, but maybe they have another receiver or another running back that you could add into this deal. Hey, I'll give you my first, Elijah Arroyo and Terrace Ferguson. You give me TJ Hawkinson and a receiver I like, or a running back I like, or whatever. Like, there could be something there to kind of add on to that. So he said he's blowing it up, has Ridley. Ridley would be interesting. Bigsby, I'm not super interested in. Drake London, but he wants to keep. I think Ridley's a really interesting piece. So could you get Ridley and Hawkinson for that first? Like if you said you're not willing to give the first or you're struggling with that, I would love to see if I can get Ridley thrown on. And if he's like, I don't know, man. Okay, here's Harold Fannin then. Cool.
Yeah, or any of them really for the most part. I would even say Dennis says use a second and one of the tight ends. Ideally, that sounds nice. Like I think ideally you'd always want to keep your first, but a lot of the times that's hard to do. If you were to do that, I think your best shot at it is probably like an Isaiah Likely in a second, because I think Isaiah Likely has the most name value at this moment in time.
Sure.
Probably has the highest upside of those guys, even though I prefer Jake Ferguson over him in my own dynasty rankings. But that would be the way to do that. You could send that first, but if that came to my inbox, it was Likely in a second for my TJ Hawkinson. I'm hitting the decline button on that. I'm not accepting that deal.
So Matt says he has no seconds, and he said he just doesn't really want Ridley. I'd be curious as to why you don't want Ridley, because I understand that
Ridley
he's not
and Hawkinson for a first. That's a no-brainer.
That's what I think as well. I think getting both of those guys for a first is a great deal, personally. If you think you can definitely do that, I would 100% be in. The reason I'm in on that is when you look at the Tennessee Titans right now, it actually reminds me very similar to what we saw Amari Cooper in his first year with the Cleveland Browns. There was just nobody else there to catch the football. There's nobody else there that has any sort of real relevance right now. So I think he will just get peppered with targets from a much better quarterback than he's been getting. And the thing is, Calvin Ridley's actually usually been pretty solid in the red zone. And Cam Ward is a much more creative quarterback than Will Levis was, and a much more accurate quarterback. So I think Calvin Ridley is one of those guys that we could not that I'm projecting it, but I'm saying I think there's a world where he does what Amari Cooper did in his first year with the Browns. And I remember saying it that year where Amari Cooper could be a wide receiver 1 this season. He ended up being wide receiver 11 that season. I think the same thing could happen where Calvin Ridley could slip into that, 10 to 15 range at wide receiver, simply just because he has so many targets. I get it's not a long-term answer, but hopefully that allows guys like Josh Downs or Cedric Tillman or somebody like that to develop, and gives you more time for Rice to get healthy and be not suspended.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big Calvin Ridley guy either, Matt, but I think really the way that I would look at it is like, I do think Hawkinson for the first is fair in itself straight up. If you're trying to just squeeze the extra value, like Ridley's a good guy to do that. Even though I'm not a huge Ridley believer, I see a pathway for value insulation with him over the next 6 months, where, maybe Cam Ward does elevate him. And then that doesn't mean that you have to keep Calvin Ridley on the roster. He comes out and has a good first month of the year. You can flip Calvin Ridley for a wide receiver that you do like, or for a second round pick or something like that at that point in time, where it's like, I traded, my first round pick for TJ Hawkinson and Calvin Ridley, but then I moved Calvin Ridley for 2 seconds or something like that, where it's like you kind of came away from this up long term just because you squeezed a little bit of extra value in there and you made a secondary move. So just because you don't like the player, don't let that stop you from making the move when you can line up a secondary deal afterwards.
Yep, absolutely. Love it. Well, Matt, I think you've got some good options there, moving off of a quarterback, trying to make some moves here at wide receiver, at tight end. I think there's a lot of good moves that could be made to kind of help ensure what should be an excellent team. I mean, Jaden Daniels, stud. Bijan Ashton-Genty, studs. Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., studs. Like, this team could absolutely be a championship team this year. So I think these little moves here could be the thing that puts you over the top.
Yeah, and don't let Addison get that little suspension either, because Hawkinson will start out strong.
Ooh, preach. All right, on to the next one.
So I have really exciting news. We heard back from Tony.
Tony. All right. What happened with our boy Tony?
The trade happened.
Who was it?
So I'll read it. And he's watching right now, I think. Or he might be a little bit behind, but so go easy on him, okay?
Okay.
We love Tony here.
We love you, Tony.
Tony show.
We're here to support you.
It was a 3-team trade.
Okay.
So he got back Ted McMillan, T-Mac, Chris Olave, Ricky Pearsall, and Alvin Kamara, Darnell Mooney, and Jalen Royals.
Wow.
That's a lot.
But he also gave up Chase, Aaron Jones, and Waddle.
Okay.
Oof. All right, so let me see if I get this straight. He gives up Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Aaron Jones.
Yes.
He gets
Ted
back
McMillan,
Alvin Kamara,
Chris Olave.
and who else?
And then it was like guys like Jalen Royals and things like
Ricky
that. thrown in.
Pearsall.
Ricky Pearsall.
The main names are T-Mac, Chris Olave, Ricky Pearsall, and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
All right. I this is tough, Tony, because sometimes the best way to show people love is to be honest with them. Even if it stings a little bit. I do not like that move. I do not like that move at all. Unfortunately. Honestly, the fact that you had to also give up Aaron Jones and Jalen Waddle in the process is kind of ridiculous to me, because I don't even think that's enough for Jamar Chase, let alone having to give extra on top. But the good news is you're here now, and we're going to do our best to fix this. So we're going to talk through some moves and see what we can make happen. So
those 3-team trades are sneaky too, man. I don't like them because it does feel like a lot of the times one person in there is getting rocked in those 3 teams.
Yep. And they didn't do you fair in that one, unfortunately, my guy. But we're gonna do our best to fix this here. So right now in contender mode, we are in 9th place.
Mm-hmm.
I know you just acquired Alvin Kamara, but I'm trying to remember now. Was this the team that didn't have any picks?
He doesn't have any picks. There's no picks for the next until 2029. He has no first or seconds.
Woof. All right, where are our picks?
I mean, Garrett, we got to blow this up, right? Like we're blowing this up and tearing it down.
Kind of have to, but it's
what
so hard
what
to
are we
do
feeling about
with no
just leaving
draft
the
picks.
league?
That's an option. It's an
Appreciate
option
you
if
guys.
you want
Maybe
to burn
just
the
stay for the
bridges.
next 3 years and just
do
say
a nice
deuces.
dust off.
Oh man,
Just
this is
kidding.
tough.
These are the best type of rebuilds.
Because
Yeah,
they're deep
when-
and they're close to the heart because it takes time. You'll love this team when it's on the other side of the road.
Yeah, backs up against the wall, and yeah. So right now, all right, Pete, help us find our picks.
Okay.
Where are they at? So we're the Washington football, or no, we're Go Pats
League.
Go.
Yep.
So
There's
what
a first.
Go Bats go. Okay.
Wasn't that a first?
So class
Yeah,
of
so
92
there's our
has it.
27 first.
We definitely want that one.
Definitely want that one. I'm okay, kind of just like it hurts, but like
2026.
yeah, at this point, it's just it's gonna be so tough to get that one because everyone knows you're gonna be in a bad spot.
And just
so that one's
start with the draft capital in 27.
that's kind of what I'm leaning, honestly.
Yep. Yeah. I think this one's going to be a little bit of a long rebuild process. It's probably going to be ideally, 3. I think 3 years is probably what we're looking at to rebuild this one all the way back up.
That's probably best case.
That's hoping your 27 picks hit pretty quickly. I would say, just looking at the roster, Garrett, for me, if we've made the decision we're tearing it down, I need to look at the assets that I can use to tear down. Joe Burrow is going to be one of the biggest assets I think we can move on from. He's going to get us the most value back, and love Joe Burrow, but long-term, I don't think he fits our plan here. Stafford's got to go too. Mixon and Kamara got to go. J.K. Dobbins, we can move him as well.
Yep. He might be a good in season one because I think he's going to get a lot of touches early at least.
Agreed.
So he might be a good one to do like first couple weeks of the season.
And then like at the receiver position, Diggs is gone. I think Pittman, we talked about on somebody else's team, an in-season guy that you can move on from. DJ Moore's maybe a guy you're kicking the tires around. I'll build around Ted. You got him in that deal. That's fine. You can keep building around him. I have high hopes for Ted. I think he's still a very, very talented wide receiver. But
I think that's
He's
the only player I'm
about the
keeping.
only
honestly.
guy that I'm locked in. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, even if somebody wanted to overpay, okay, I'm listening because right now I need value. That's what I
Yeah.
need. I need value on my deals. David Njoku, he's one, depending on how people feel about him right now, I'm willing to move him, but I think he's going to have a really good season, especially with Joe Flacco at the beginning of the year. So assuming Joe Flacco is the starter to start the year, I think he's going to gain value. So fine dealing him now if you get good value for him. If not, another one that I'm looking to move in the early part of the season as well. But yeah, I hate to say this, Tony, because I know you just made a move to kind of try to compete, but looking at it, you know, even adding guys like Kamara and whatnot, you're in ninth and you're pretty far behind a lot of these other teams. I'm going to that Chase owner that I just made the deal with, though. First of all, saying screw you, but also secondly, you just got Chase. Are you interested in Joe Burrow? I don't know what he has at quarterback.
Jaden Daniels.
Oh, he doesn't want him. Dang
And
it.
it's
What about the T. Higgins
Commanders.
owner?
It's
What
a
about the T.
Commanders
Higgins
league
owner?
too. So, let's see.
Well, hold on there, Garrett. Can we still give him Burrow? Because he's going to be starting. It's one QB though, huh?
It's one quarterback.
It's one QB.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I wish it was super
He
flex.
did make the championship last year.
Okay.
By the way, so
Fair.
so at least
That was off the back of a monster Jamar Chase season, I'm sure.
so
Absolutely.
T. Higgins, Herbert.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, there I don't mind selling. I don't mind selling Burrow and getting a McCarthy or a Cam Ward or something there, and just rolling the dice.
I mean, I would be totally fine with that. Depending
Just
on
if
what
they
my
feel
plus
like they're
was.
getting an upgrade.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I can get a decent plus, I'll just keep tearing down. So I'll tear down from Joe Burrow to Herbert, and I'll tear down from Herbert to somebody else, and I'll keep tearing down and just pick up extra seconds or whatever if I need to.
Ton of draft capital. Yeah.
He has our 26 second. So like, how close?
Yeah, Justin Herbert
like,
and my own 26 second for Joe Burrow. I would do that. And a 1 QB.
I don't mind it. I even think you might be able to get something else thrown in. What other wide receivers does he have? Like back end wide receivers we could just sneak onto the roster maybe that have upside?
Because the perk is like this team, like in theory, this league is still viewing him as a championship roster, right?
Hopefully.
So if
Right.
kind of
Hopefully.
sly,
Yeah, and you could get the 201.
Which would mean that honestly, ideally, we're trying to lock in that 27 first before
people realize it. Yeah.
people realize. So that should be the first move because we don't have that 27 first, so we should be trying to go grab that.
Yeah, and hopefully the 28 first if we can too.
Yeah. But before anybody catches on, I think we got to grab the first because I think once we get the first, people are going to be like, "Oh, hold on, what's happening here? Is
Right.
the champ
right.
blowing it up?" Yeah.
The nice part about the Burrow move for Herbert in the second is that one's not a true indicator one.
Right.
Because he's still like a contending piece. So you could hypothetically get away with that one and get yours, which is the 201. They don't know that yet, but is the 201 in 2026. So that one you might be able to get away with doing first, but you could do it in either order. It's not a big deal.
Also, I just wanted to mention too, just like a small, roster construction type of thing with our wide receiver room, the way that it is, like at the back end, we have guys like I can't remember. I think it was a Deontay Johnson, like MVS, Curtis Samuel. Drop as many of these guys as you can that are just not going to be valuable and pick up young guys. Like even if those guys don't hit and they're zeros and you can cut them later, like I would be taking shots on anybody and everybody that's unproven and has some sort of small path.
Xavier Restrepo.
Yeah, like
Andrew Armstrong.
Cut the old guys and just move on. So I guess really, Garrett, what names are you cutting?
Honestly, I am willing to cut everybody below
Cooper?
I'm willing to cut every player below Marvin Mims.
You're willing to cut Cooper too?
Yeah, I'd be willing to cut Amari Cooper. I don't want to risk him getting 6 points a week on my team and like having to start him.
Pete, what's the waiver look like here? Just curious.
Yeah, it's
Honestly,
not great.
I would say too, I'll throw it out first of anybody wants these guys for a 5th round pick. You can have
like
anybody.
all of them.
but that's after you make like the first, like that's
You have to
very
you have to secure your
rebuilding
first. Like that's got to be the
Yep.
first thing you do. Yeah.
mode. We got Dylan Laub. We got McCormick. We got Izzy Abanikanda. Johnny Wilson, Jaheim Bell. Like this waiver wire. I mean,
There's a lot of
the
players,
most
that's-
upside one is Deuce Vaughn.
Well, even that said though, your point, Garrett, of like I don't want the extra points because I'm trying to get the 101. Like even if you're not picking up a guy that, like you were talking about, Kanata Mumfield or whatever. Like if we're not even picking up those guys, like just cut them and don't get the points and let's just try and get the 101.
Yeah.
Well, we aren't going to have
I guess
the
we
101.
won't have our 26 first though. Kind of forgot about that. So
Yeah,
we
but
don't
we're
even-
going to
we
be
can't
trying to
even
grab our second, which is going to be the 201.
That's true. That's
Hey.
true. Yeah, we want 201 versus 204.
Yeah.
Tank for the 201, baby.
Well, it's to line us up to be better in 27 and 28. Like we're
Right.
playing this long game here, right?
Right.
Tank
Absolutely.
for Jack Besh.
Yeah. Wait till we find out who the 201 is next year, and that dude's gonna be a stud.
He's gonna be a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. But same thing like Miles Sanders, I'm cutting. I guess that's really the only running back. I'd probably cut Keaton Mitchell, honestly, too, just in case.
Yeah.
But
Everyone else,
then, yeah, I'd hold on to the rest of the guys and then trade Dobbins, Mixon, and Kamara. So yeah,
And, like-
unfortunately, my guy, it's a true blow up.
even like
try to get
Malik
back your
Willis and
27.
Pickett, I'd probably just move on from Pickett and Willis.
Yep. And a 1 QB, absolutely. Yeah, so I would say full on tank mode, full on rebuild. Get your 27 first, then look at maybe a downgrade from Joe Burrow. Talk to the contenders about Mixon and Kamara. Same thing with the receivers. David Njoku, maybe more of an in-season guy. But yeah, it's same with Dobbins. But it's going to be a long haul, man. It's going to be a long haul, but stick with it. Get your 27 first, get your 28 first back, and then you can start acquiring extra draft picks on top and start really building for the future because realistically, we're looking at 28, 29 as to where we can actually start being relevant again, which is tough. I know it sucks, but I think that's kind of the spot that we're in right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes for a lot of people, or like the people who buy our roster rescues, is like we remember your names, or at least we try to, and just drop a trade if you have it in the chat, and we'll
we try to get to those when we can.
But also, like the chat has been super active today. Just get other people's opinions on them, to make sure the thing you want to be prioritizing right now when you're in a rebuild is getting value back. So just make sure that you're getting value for your bets right now.
Yep, and you cannot in a rebuild be attached to any player name at all. Everybody's got to be available pretty much at all times.
Yep, whenever you're getting that value. All right, on to the next one. Best of luck, Tony. We're rooting for you, man. We're rooting for you.
So, Andrew, you have actually done 2 of Austin's rosters.
Oh wow.
Do you remember when you were with Rich, the guy who had a bunch of picks?
Yeah. We were telling him
this
to start pushing the chips in.
Yeah, this is he actually got 2 more rosters for us to go over today. So this is a back-to-back Austin team highlight.
Well, hopefully
All right,
he's Chet at
Austin.
85 because this is insane.
Yep, we're looking pretty good.
You're doubling the value of the next closest team almost. Wow, that is really, really impressive. So here we go. Superflex tight end premium. We've got Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, Cam Ward at quarterback, Running back Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Trey Benson, Tyler Algier. Wide receivers Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Marvin Harrison Jr., Travis Hunter, Alec Ayomanor. Tight end, we've got Barack Bowers, Colston Loveland, Kyle Pitts, Mike Gesicki. Picks wise, we have 3 firsts in 26, first and 22nd, and 2 seconds in 2026 as well. So lots of picks. Really, really good spot we're in.
Yeah.
There's one thing that does kind of stick out to me though, Andrew.
Is it the same?
You
thing
have
I'm looking at?
RBs. What's that?
Is it the RB3 slot?
It's the RB3 spot. Absolutely. Yep. You have the top 2 running backs here, but one of those guys gets injured, and all of a sudden, this just absolute artwork that you have built could crumble. So I think we must prioritize that RB3 slot because
he did handcuff Bijan.
What's that?
We got a handcuff for Bijan, so if Bijan's the one who goes down, we at least have Algier.
That does help for sure. I'm glad of that. I wouldn't mind Montgomery as well. But that being said, I for a second was like, hey, you've got some good depth at wide receiver, but honestly, I don't really want to tap into that depth too much because we're starting 4 wide receivers right now. Harrison and Hunter right now on a contender. I don't have to start them. I don't want to, but it's the 3 first in 2026. I'm looking at if you want to get one like older guy and then one guy that you can like really build with, you could use all 3 of these first round picks. I'd use them all. I would use them all and probably get myself 2 good running backs.
So he has 2 trades that he included in the notes.
Ooh, let's hear them.
Like they're pending offers or something?
Offered.
Okay.
So Caleb Williams and Harrison Jr. for Joe Burrow.
Nope.
I'm not.
No.
Yeah. But then this one is a little bit more interesting, I think. AJ Brown and Devon Achane for Travis Hunter and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Say that again.
So you get that RB3. Achane and AJ Brown for Hunter and Harrison Jr.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm really
tough.
considering that deal. Because that does solve the issue of what we were talking about with the running back. But can I counter that offer and give them 2 firsts for Achane and just call it a day?
Well, let's
that's what I would prefer.
Where Achane is if this is a contending team.
I mean, 2 has to get the deal done, right? Like, it's a little bit of an overpay for Achane, I think, considering like running back market for the most part in Dynasty, but like I'm definitely willing to do it.
And this guy does look like he's rebuilding a little bit.
Can I give him my 3 first and then take AJ and Achane off his team?
That's what I was thinking. Can I get all 3 of them? I don't think that's going to be quite enough for all 3, but would you give Travis Hunter in 2 first?
I'd listen to it. I think 3 might get. You might be able to do it. I
done?
mean, realistically, let's think about it, Garrett. Like, what are people realistically giving you for AJ Brown? He's not worth 2 firsts. He's worth 1, probably plus a little, right?
Yeah, it's probably a first and a second. If you're in a rebuild, I'd want a first and a second. But I'd want a
worth
good
what,
first.
2?
I don't want a late first though. Like I want a legitimate first.
Okay, so whose first does he have? He has his own and then 2 others.
Yeah, who are the other 2 first? Under
construction is a good
that
sign.
Sounds good. That's a good sign.
That's the 9th team, and then
Gooser.
The other one's
and the 10th. Wow,
we could do the 3. We can use the 3 and get AJ and Achane.
I think so. I think you hold on to your players. I wouldn't move any of them. I would because the guys all coming 3 of those first round picks.
If you were that team, would you do that trade? Because I feel like that makes sense.
I mean,
they're
honestly,
rebuilding, right?
Yeah,
it looks like
if I'm a rebuilding roster and you offer me 3 firsts for Achane and AJ Brown, I'm like, I wish I could get a little bit more, but realistically, who's going to offer me 3 first round picks in this league for this package?
And 2 of those we're expecting to be top 5 picks.
Right.
So that's the difference maker, I think, in this. If these were all like, this looks like it's going to be 9, 11, and 12, okay, I'm probably out. Like, no thanks. But if I think 2 of those are top 5 picks, that's pretty intriguing. And honestly, as a rebuilder, I'd consider it. I would. It'd be close. It'd be tough for me, but I really would consider that.
Dude, I've said this to Austin before. You are the top team here, or you have all these draft picks. What did Les Snead say when he had them draft picks and won the Super Bowl? What did he say? We know what he said. Yeah, go get yourself another championship, or go get yourself a championship. I can't imagine you didn't win the championship in here last year, but
He came in second.
well, go win it now.
win
Take
it.
those 3 first and move them and grab Achan, who I think has. I mean, I saw your video the other day, Garrett, and I talked about it in the video we did together. Like, Achan has the RB1 overall upside this year,
Yeah.
and AJ Brown is still a top 12 wide receiver, no matter how you cut it. Like, I'm
Yep.
taking those. You're plugging those guys into your starting lineups every week. Yeah, and go win. You don't need those
Because
first.
what's every team going to do to Philly this year? They're figuring out every freaking possible way to stop Saquon Barkley. That
The strength
opens
of
things
schedule is
up.
different too.
It is. So I think AJ Brown's going to absolutely eat this year. I have no worries about him at all. So yeah, now you're starting. I mean, honestly, you might not even end up starting AJ Brown. That's how good of a starting lineup you have. You have freaking Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, Puka Nacua. Like right now, that gives you 5 wide receiver ones. A guy that could be a wide receiver 1 this year in Marvin Harrison Jr. and a crazy upside piece in Travis Hunter. And honestly, at that point, I'm looking at Travis Hunter too, and I'm saying, hey, if there's anywhere during the season where somebody gets nicked up and I need to fill in at a position, Travis Hunter is going to be available for me because I like him, but he's the riskiest guy on my roster right now, and I'm trying to win a ship. So he would be somebody that I would be really open to moving if somebody got injured.
Yeah, 5 wide receiver 1s, the tight end 1, the QB 1 or 2 if you have Lamar there, but I have Allen as the guy. And then you have 3 top 5 running backs. I mean, like, what are we doing here?
It's amazing. So yeah, I think once we solve that RB3 spot and we just added to the depth of your wide receiver room, I think that's easy, done and done. Like, make that happen. I think it'll get done.
And this quarterback room is great, and tight end room is great. So
Yeah, and if you really wanted to, I would encourage you when you get a super team like this. Like, sometimes I think it's easy to want to upgrade, and then it can get you in trouble sometimes. I don't think that deal that we talked about with the first round picks is that. But like, if you wanted to toy with something later, you could take Travis Hunter and Caleb Williams and try and tier up at QB and get even further up that board and maybe, have somebody there. But I don't think that's a necessity at all.
I don't think so either. And it all depends on how you feel about him in this Ben Johnson offense this year. Do you think he's going to take that next step or not? If you're worried about him taking that next step, then I'm more inclined to do that pretty early. If I'm like, dude, he's going to eat, like, there's no reason to. Then you're expecting him to be a top 10, top 12 type guy and just enjoy life. So yeah, I think this one's pretty easy. We solved that RB3 spot. We gave you some extra depth at wide receiver, and we just pushed the chips all in, man. And
well, it helped that you already had the trade offer on the table with the guy that solved our issue.
Yeah, beautiful.
So I haven't looked at the Austin's next roster yet. Are we guessing it's probably in first though?
I would set the over, Pete. We've seen a bunch of these now. Over under 2.5 future firsts. Are we over or under that?
Oh, I'm smashing the over.
Me too. Me too.
I am too.
Okay.
I am too. I think
There
he's
it
gonna
is.
give us a different taste though. Are we getting a? Oh nope, he's just crushing again.
Whoops.
Over under. Yeah.
Yep.
The over hit.
3:20. Yep. So what he wrote for this team is trying to maximize this team for as long as possible. Don't consider Dre and Panthers teams for trades, both super inactive.
Okay.
Publicly called out.
I
Get
like
it
that.
together, guys.
Yeah, get your stuff together.
Trey McBride is also off the table as well.
Okay, good to know. All right, so we've got Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott. Holy crap. Saquon Barkley, Brees Hall, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery. Then we've got wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, Tet McMillan, Tyreek Hill. And then we've got Dalton Kincaid. So he already knows where we're going with this by saying Trey McBride's off the table. Like,
Yep.
you're just missing a tight end. Like, you're just missing a tight end. That's really it. Everything else is like super sexy. I will say running back, though.
Yep.
Did we hear what the injury was to Joe Mixon? I know it's a non-football related injury.
It's the same.
Have we heard?
I think it's the same thing that he's been dealing with, because he showed up to a camp in a boot in the spring, and they said that he's been dealing with some ankle injuries since then. The only indication that I have here is that it's lingering from the same ankle injury that he had in spring, but we didn't have an official word. The statement that came out from his agent was that they're playing it cautious with Joe, but they think he will be okay by the start of the season.
I'm sold.
I don't love all those
What-
words together.
Did they specify what year?
They said the
season-wise?
start of the season, so I'm hoping
season
this one.
2025.
5 or 2026?
Yeah, but immediately after that, we started getting highlights from Nick Chubb taking the first reps at camp. So whatever that is.
Wow. All right. So I would say
Yeah.
I also have a small concern at running back as well. Small, not big, but small. So if there's a deal similar to what we just did where, hey, here's 3 first-round picks, give me your running back and tight end, I would love to make the same type of move that we just made for Achane and
Jonathan
AJ Brown,
Taylor
but just
is on
do
this team.
tight end. I would like to get Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, we can't do both on this one, but I would be
Yeah.
very open to Jonathan Taylor. I'd want to solve my tight end first, because I think that's the more pressing issue. And so make sure I have the right amount of assets for the tight end that I'm looking for. Is George Kittle on a non-contending team? Or is he on a contender? Laporta and Hawkinson. This is the team to deal with right here. This is
Yep.
the team to deal with.
What?
Honestly,
Okay.
I would tell them, give me whichever one you want. Because I like Sam Laporta almost identical to how much I like DJ Hawkinson. So whatever one you're open to, let's make a deal.
I'm the same.
My
Just give me the
question
cheaper
would
one.
then be, are they going to give a running back? I don't know that they would give a running back. So we might have to work with 2 separate teams on this.
It's going to be 2 teams, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, whoever
All right,
they
so-
view is the more affordable option, or the one they view less, take whichever one. Because I'm with you too, Garrett. Like, those guys should be like 3rd and 4th, or both top 5 guys in tight end rankings.
Yep. So I think let's assume it's TJ Hawkinson, because I think most
Yep.
people have Sam Laporta ahead of Hawkinson. So once again, we'll give a first, right? We'll give a first.
Yeah.
It is tight end premium, so they might be a little bit more greedy, which I'm okay with. We have the draft picks to work with this. So we give a first, and what other picks do we have?
Oh,
A 3rd or a 2nd and 28.
You
I don't
try a
really want to move
3rd.
28s out that far.
Or do we give them like I mean, who are our other tight ends?
could I give him Goddard and
Yeah. A third.
a first and get Hawkinson?
In the first. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to do something like that. Then you still have Dalton Kincaid as like an upside piece. He's your like, oh, what if guy. But like, I'm not counting on Dalton Kincaid as my guy. So we'll say it's a first plus. You can figure out what the plus exactly is. I don't want to give anything crazy on top, but
Can
I'm
I see
definitely
the
willing
running
to
backs
give a
one more
plus.
time?
Yeah.
Because I think you could go like, I don't want to give any of them. Scroll to QBs real quick. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of Goddard, or like if they want to take a shot on Jordan Whittington or something like that, or a 3rd round pick. But it's tough because I think everybody else, like Dak would be your QB4. You're definitely not throwing Dak into a deal. You're not throwing David Montgomery into a deal. You're not throwing Tyreek Hill into the deal. So it's probably Goddard or Schultz
Do they need
or
a quarterback?
Whittington or 3rd.
Do they need a quarterback? Or are they? Oh no, they've got good quarterback situation.
Just
Oh no,
looking at-
which one is it?
I'm still finding them. They're there. They have Goff, Tua, and Stafford.
They might be interested in one.
Would you do Dak straight up for Trey McBride or TJ Hawkinson?
Yeah,
on this team,
I think
would.
so. Yeah, with this team, because you have your 2 starters already.
Yeah, and a third quarterback.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Justin
This
Herbert's a third
team
quarterback.
Yeah.
has Kittle and running backs.
I
Would you
think
be
they think
interested?
they're a contender, though. I think they're
Okay.
going to be a hard one to like get that off of. I think we're better served getting TJ Hawkinson off the one team, going to that last team and getting Jonathan Taylor. I think that's the move.
Okay.
Because this team's a true rebuilder.
Yeah.
with no picks.
Ooh, yeah, they're in a tough spot. That we're going to be their saving grace. We're going to come in like an angel and say,
We
"Hey,
have
here's
their
2
picks.
first-round picks.
We have
Some
Give us
both,
Jonathan
lifelines.
Taylor."
we have both of their picks. Their 2026 first and 2027 first.
Yeah.
Ooh,
We
man,
can charge.
that's the
We can
case.
charge. We can
Up
upcharge
tax, up tax. Let's add Woody Marks to the deal because we have Joe Mixon.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's add Woody Marks to
That'll
the deal
do it.
now. Get a little tax on it.
Now you got me interested.
that.
Honestly,
Marks
I'm
is just the price to even start the conversation here. If you want your first round pick back.
Yep. And honestly, I'm not giving their 27 back. I'm keeping their 27. I'll say I'll give you your 26 back. I'm keeping their 27 because I don't think they're going to be good anytime soon. So I'm keeping their 27, and I'm using that to get me Jeremiah Smith to just make my run absurd.
Yeah, and consolation prizes. If it's not Jeremiah, it's Ryan Williams.
Yep.
The
I love
director
it.
of episode 7 of Star Wars?
Yeah, that guy.
How do you know
Oh.
that? Andrew, you'll learn that Pete is one of the most interesting human beings I've ever met in my life. The weird happenings in his life are incredible.
When we were starting off the show with sourdough is alive and it's the closest thing you can get to cooking a living organism or something, baking an organism. Yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. Yeah, that was that starts it off.
Yep, that's how it goes, man. So yeah, I think we give 226 firsts, one of them being his own. We seem very gracious by doing that. But we get Jonathan Taylor and Woody Marks back in it. And honestly, you might even be able to sneak a little bit more.
So, challenge really fast, okay? Well,
Okay.
I'm putting you guys to the test.
All right, test us.
I don't think there's any way that you know what team Mitchell Evans plays for. Tight end Mitchell.
It's either
or
Carolina-
Michelle. Is it Carolina?
Carolina.
Tight end for the Carolina Panthers. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We both
Here's
got
that.
it. Look
Jackson,
at that.
Jackson Hayes. Hayes? Hawes? What team
He's
does he play with?
he's a
From
Buffalo
Georgia
Bill.
Tech.
Wow.
Look at
See, this
that.
is
Yeah.
why I'm in the background.
I love it. All
There's
right.
no ball.
I think that's it. I mean, I think that's pretty easy. We get
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor. We still have that team's 27 first. We get TJ Hawkinson for Dak Prescott, or we could give up a first and a little bit extra, and we get Hawkinson. I think that's pretty easy.
Perfect.
Would you trade? So this was this guy's team earlier that we were also talking about getting Hawkinson.
Yeah,
Would you
Matt's team.
trade a 26 first for Hawkinson and a 26 second, probably to a 1 easily? Easily would do that.
100%.
Well, we were gonna trade a 26
first.
first to straight up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
now
you're
we're
giving
getting
me free
extra
money
back.
here.
Absolutely. And that 201's worth even more than Calvin Ridley. So you can get somebody even better than Ridley now at this point if you wanted to deal that out or just hold it and enjoy it. So yeah, I think that's an easy slam
Okay.
dunk.
Count of 3. I'm gonna count down, and you both tell me at the same time your favorite wide receiver to trade for to give up the 201.
Favorite wide
Okay.
receiver to trade for to give up the 201.
Yeah, so you're giving up the 201 and
Are
you
we
want
contender?
a wide receiver back. Yeah,
Are we
your Matt's
contender?
team.
Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
okay, you got the name?
Yeah.
I don't know how realistic. Like, I don't want to get too out of
I have a
Just
name
so
in
you
mind.
know.
I don't know if it's the favorite, the number one. I would have to like look at a list to like figure out who my number one is. But I have a name.
Okay.
I have a name as well. I don't know if
Okay.
it would get done, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Okay. I'm gonna. So on shoot, you both say it. Okay. 3, 2, 1, shoot.
Waddle.
Terry McLaurin.
Ooh.
I could see
Jared's
both
better,
of those potentially getting
but
done.
I like both of them.
I think Terry
don't know.
McLaurin, you're buying some of the negative hype right now of like, oh, he's not at camp. They're gonna give him money. They're not gonna not give him money. He's gonna be playing for the Commanders. I
Absolutely.
would put my money on that. And yeah, you get him paired with Jaden Daniels for like a 2-year window here. I'm doing that.
Yeah, I would have no problem doing Terry McLaurin either. I love that. Jalen Waddle, somebody that could potentially be long term. I'd have a hard time giving a first for him, but I think the 201 could potentially get done if somebody really believes that is the 201. I think that could get done, but we've seen it before without Tyreek Hill. He's been a wide receiver 1, so I think positive regression is coming for a guy like Jalen Waddle.
Favorite word right there. Okay, we have Nate's team, Real Men of Genius. Is that the Bud Light commercial, you think? Do you remember
I have
that?
no idea.
I don't.
It was
I
like
don't remember
10
that.
10, 15 years ago. It was like Real Men of Genius. It was really good.
I
I
remember
do
that.
vaguely remember that when I listen to like
Yes.
baseball games on the radio.
But
Yeah.
15 years ago, I'll tell you, you don't want to know how old I was 15 years ago.
I think you guys are
Let's see.
pretty much the same age. I think you guys are pretty close.
How old are you?
I'm 28. So
Okay,
15,
I'm
I would have been
29.
13 years old. Yeah, I would have been 13.
I was really big in a Budweiser commercial, apparently.
How
At 13
old
years
are you,
old,
Pete?
That's crazy.
29.
29. I was gonna say, I thought you two were pretty close.
So, release date was 2003?
Okay,
No,
I would
we
have
were
been
6 and
13.
7 years old.
I was
I
saying,
did
I
grow
was
up
13.
listening
then.
to country music, but
That's crazy.
That's a deep pull.
yikes. Yeah. Anyway, let us know, Nate, if that's who you're referencing here. It's a Superflex non-tight end premium league, start 11.
All right, we have Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco in the Superflex league. Running back wise, we're looking at Jahmyr Gibbs, Breece Hall, Chuba Hubbard, David Montgomery, Jonathan Brooks. Then at wide receiver, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Lad McConkey, Chris Godwin, Cedric Tillman, Darnell Mooney. Tight end wise, TJ Hawkinson, Evan Ingram, and Chig Okonkwo. We don't have our first and 25, but we do have the 210 and 211. We have both our first in 26 and in 27. Right now, we are second in dynasty mode. In contender mode, we are
Also, really fast, the 11 starters, one of them are kickers and the other one is defense.
so it's really
So
only
it's
9.
actually
Really
nine
start
starters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, as second.
Also second. So we're pretty consistent across the board. So Andrew, I feel like I've been starting us off a lot. I'm gonna go pee, and I'm gonna let you start this one off. You good?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right.
All right, Pete, you want to scroll up? I just want to go through the team one more time. I know he just went through it, but
Yep.
Allen, Mayfield, Flacco, Gibbs, Hall, Chuba, Puka, Ladd, Garrett, and Hawkinson. We're pretty well-rounded, sitting here in contender at the second overall. I think really where I'm looking at it would be potentially an upgrade here. Maybe a wide receiver. I mean, if you're the top contender,
Okay.
we have a lot of seconds, or it's second to top contender. We have a lot of seconds and a lot of firsts. We could kind of just bolster up the roster. We could add another wide receiver, maybe even add another guy at running back as well. But I think that's kind of the route that I would go. Do we have any teams here? I guess also we have draft picks to use in this year's class, right? Am I seeing that? We do have 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to do a little bit of a mock just to see who would be there if when
let's do
Garrett
that.
gets back or something, or maybe if you want to do it.
Actually, really fast. Jamie with the super chat. 105 Hunter or Travion Henderson, and 109 Egbuka, RJ, or Judkins. Where are you going on that?
I kind of wish I knew roster and scoring settings with those picks, because that would kind of change the way. I know Garrett's a big Hendo guy. I probably would go Henderson as well at the 105. For the 109, I am leaning Ibuka right now because of the Judkins off the field stuff. It would be between him and Judkins. RJ Harvey would not be in consideration for me with those two guys on the board. It says PPR 1 QB. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going the Hendo and the Hunters, I guess, closer. I think I'm going to go Hendo, and then I'm going to go Egbuka there.
Okay.
Garrett, what you think of that?
I would probably do the same. I think Hunter has a crazy high ceiling, but there's so much risk with him that I'd like to minimize that risk. And then I think I would go with Emeka Egbuka as well. So I think we're in line there. I would also have no problem with Quinshon Judkins though. Yes, it's an unfortunate start to his career. This would also be one where I would be tempted depending on what I needed. But I am firm best player available for the most part. So it would just depend if I'm a rebuild or a contender.
Yeah, I would say too, at the 105, like, I know he's not listed, but if Hunter's available, maybe McMillan's in the range there too. I would go Tetaroa McMillan over both of those guys personally.
I would not over Henderson. I would take Henderson over those two personally.
Fair.
All right. So our roster here.
got a mock
are we in the
going.
midst of a draft?
Yes.
Yeah, we have two picks here that we're going to use in the second round, the late second round on this team. Really just trying to look to add some guys at maybe the wide receiver and the running back position. I don't think we really need a QB or a tight end. So just trying to see who potentially would be on the board. I mean, we just talked about Woody Marks with Mixon injured right now. Damian Pierce starting the year on the PUP right now. He's on the PUP right now.
Can you scroll down a little bit, Pete?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Marks is definitely interesting for me.
I think Jalen Noel's interesting.
I was going to just say that. I'm a big Jalen Noel guy. Pete, are we?
We have
Pete, we're
Oh.
doing this draft in contender mode. I was going to say something feels off. That's what's off. We're doing it in contender. Hold on. I was like, wait, why am I already seeing Andrew Armstrong and Xavier Restrepo?
Whoa, no Andrew Armstrong hate here.
I like the guy. I think he's got upside. I just don't know that I would take him at this point in the draft.
Yeah, that's much
There's
different of a
names.
board.
I mean, Luther Burden's got crazy upside. I worry about him, but if there is a scenario that he falls this far, I mean, it's a slam dunk pick for me.
Yeah, it would be Burden for me too. He's a guy that I'd be taking him in the top like 13, 14 picks personally.
Yep. So I think that's an easy one. If Luther Burden's there, smash him at that spot. Bayshall Tootin would also be interesting to me. Let me see who else we got here. Who else is available? In this
Samson,
spot?
Blue, borderline lazy is what they're saying now.
Say that again.
Oh,
Borderline
that was the
lazy
weirdest report.
that came out.
I've never seen a report like that.
Yeah, and it's
I've seen a couple,
supposedly-
but
it's a coach that is close to the team, even though he hasn't been in the building in 10 years. That is hearing that he's borderline lazy. I don't know.
interesting. Samson obviously gets a early bump as a potential guy. I still hesitate with him a little bit there. With it being super flex, are you interested in any of the quarterbacks at this spot, or is it still just too early for you?
I mean, I'm definitely, if I were to take shots on the QBs, it would definitely be Milrow. This is kind of the range where in Superflex I was okay pulling the trigger in my own rookie drafts. But
He does
I
need a
just-
quarterback 3. He has
yeah,
Allen, Mayfield, and then Flacco and Wilson.
I feel like I would rather draft a Dylan Sampson or a Jalen Noel over Milrow still, though.
For me right now, the order would probably be Tootin. Actually, just how it was listed: Tootin, Knoll, Sampson, and then probably Milrow for me is probably how it would go.
I don't mind
Are
us
we
going
really that
Burden
low
and
on
Tootin.
Burden?
There's no way.
Well, we
should
already
do
drafted
that.
Burden, right? Oh,
No.
you didn't actually
So
click.
19.
You both said smash accept Burden
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think you're talking about the ranking there is like 19, right? Is that the
Yeah,
ranking on the
no,
right side?
I didn't hear draft him.
Okay, yeah, we
but-
both. It was quick because we wanted him that.
We were both like, no,
Quick,
no
yeah.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
But
I'd have
yeah,
no issue
I would
with
honestly
Tootin.
have it as it's listed. You know, maybe my rankings help power this. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I would probably have this exact order.
Fair. They probably do help power that, but
They do.
yeah,
They
I would
absolutely
have
do.
no issue with Tootin here,
Perfect.
and I think that's all
And
we had in
then-
this year's draft class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you basically add Tootin and Burden to this roster.
Yeah. Now, this puts us in a good spot. I think we're obviously one of the better teams in this league. We're listed at second, both in contender and in dynasty mode. I do feel like we're just a hair shallow at
Yeah.
some spots. What
But
do we
I
at
think that's
tight end
because
again?
we're holding draft capital,
Correct.
a lot of it.
Now, as much as I like guys like Tootin and Burden and things like that, and I think those are really good additions for where you're drafting. I think those are great spots. There's a chance neither one of those guys would be available. Even if there was a rebuilding team that came talking, I would be willing to move both of those picks for a more for a more win now asset if I thought it was somebody that could actually have a shot to crack my starting lineup.
Agreed.
So let's look at a couple of those bottom teams there, Pete.
Ooh,
Tyreek?
Oh,
Derrick
wow.
Henry. Oh,
Derrick Henry's
let's turn this on contender really fast though,
Okay.
because that's gonna skew. Yeah, Rico Dowdle. Let's go.
That's not interesting to me.
I don't see anything really there either.
Achan.
Pacheco, I don't mind, but I know you guys aren't as high on Pacheco as I am this year. I don't think anything else there either. Maybe DJ Moore.
Also,
I mean, I would
really
love to
quick,
get Devon
Matt,
Achane. I just don't think we have the dogs in the race to be able to do something
Yeah.
like that.
Really quick, Matt. I'm not trading Drake May or Mahomes for Brendan Ayuk in a one quarterback league.
No,
No way.
I would
No way.
I would still want more.
Even if his QB1 is JD5, yeah, I think you can get way more than Ayuk right now.
I think Joe Mixon is an interesting one because with these rumors, I think his price has probably dropped to a point where if you give 2 seconds, they might accept.
I'll tell you what, I've been trying to sell Mixon, and there is nobody interested in buying.
Right. So sometimes if nobody's selling, all of a sudden, or nobody's buying, all of a sudden, you flip the script. Like,
Yeah.
And that's always my favorite thing when everybody's like, buy this guy. Like, okay, if everybody's screaming he's a buy, he's no longer a buy. Like,
Yeah.
because everyone's on board that he's a buy. So now he's probably become a sell because his price has skyrocketed too much. And so this would be a time where I would be for 2 late seconds. Look, if I can get Burden, then that changes the game. I don't really think you're going to be able to get Burden there. I really don't.
No.
I think there's a good chance that he's gone. I would be totally willing. I think that helps secure our running back room nicely by adding a Joe Mixon. And if he's hurt, oh well, you lost the 210 and 211 pick. Like those, you had about a 15% chance of hitting on those guys anyway. So,
And if you do this before your rookie draft, you can try and get a 3rd round pick or something so you can lock up Woody Marks if you really want to.
absolutely. So, I think that's the move that I would want to make the most. If not, and those players are there, that's awesome. I'd love to add Bayshall Tootin. I'd love to add Luther Burden, but I think realistically, those are Tootin's more likely than Burden, but I still think both of those guys could be gone at that point.
Yeah,
any
I agree.
other big moves that we're making?
I would like to see us get a better QB3. on the roster. Right now, we're hoping that Russell Wilson plays the games to where he can actually like still be the starter when he fills in for our bye weeks. But
Right.
I think that's probably the only other thing. Maybe other like tight end, you're good there. I thought about maybe adding another wide receiver. Like Godwin could start out slow. Mooney's fine, but like I'm looking at this as kind of like you have 3.5 wide receivers and not 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Could
So,
you?
yeah.
I know we were just talking about being a little bit shallow, but like if I could consolidate Godwin and Mooney together and just get an upgrade there, that would be something I'd be interested in doing.
I'd be open to it. The hard part is I feel like Godwin is kind of one of those typically underrated assets. So I just don't know that we're
Especially
going to
that he's
get
on the PUP.
Yeah,
He
I
is.
just don't know that we're going to get the upgrade that we'd want.
Or maybe we move. Could you move like if we're adding a running back to the roster, would you be okay moving like if we're adding Mixon to the roster, would you be okay moving like Chuba and switching those points into the wide receiver position? Or does that just kind of like do the same thing where you're not fixing the running back after making the running back move?
Yeah, I do worry about that a little bit. What do you think about our tight end spot? Because we have Hawkinson and Evan Ingram. Are you confident? Obviously, we know how you feel about Hawkinson. We've talked about him a lot this episode. How do you feel about Evan Ingram? Like, what's your confidence level on him?
Yeah, 2025 confidence level is pretty high. Like, I think he's a guy that is your video the other day, dark horse tight ends that could finish as the number 1. I think he's in the conversation at least,
I think so
potentially
too.
for me. So I do like him a lot. Do you need him if you have Hawkinson? Probably not, because you're going to start Hawkinson pretty much every week. And this isn't tight end premium, right?
It is not. So that's why I was actually thinking, as much as we love the guy, do we trade Hawkinson for an upside tight end and something in there to kind of make us feel a little bit better about either a quarterback 3 spot or our wide receiver spot?
We could. I wouldn't mind moving Hawkinson for a wide receiver. If we're doing the mix and trade, then trying to grab another wide receiver. Where do you think we could land like tier wise with Hawkinson in a non-tight end premium?
I would say probably like the Jordan Addison type range.
I wouldn't
think-
mind making that move. Same bet, same offense.
Yeah.
Just putting it in the wide receiver position. You get the suspension probably with Addison right now, though.
Yeah.
Which means you might get him at a little bit cheaper. I'm trying to
Jalen Waddle. Would you do Jalen Waddle?
I'd be interested. I'm trying to pull up my rankings here. Like, how are we feeling about like Pickens? Would you be interested in like George Pickens maybe with Dallas?
He's such a risky one for me. If I could get George Pickens, is there like the team that has him? Do they also have like an upside tight end for me to add behind Evan Ingram? Then, like, do they have a Terrace Ferguson? Do they have a Elijah Roro? Do they have like somebody like that? Because I think I could make that move then if I'm now kind of feeding back into my tight end spot from giving up TJ Hawkinson.
Or do we go back to the original move where you made the cheaper veteran buy at the running back position with Mixon? Do you make that a wide receiver, and the running back we go for is like try and trade Hawkinson for like Henry?
I would make that move. I think he ended up being on a contender though. After we switched it from
James Cook, maybe? I know you said he makes you nervous, but James Cook would be another guy I would look at.
Oh, there's Henry. I think you skipped him, Pete. Right there.
I mean, if I'm this
Ooh,
guy,
yeah.
though, there's no way I'm thinking I'm contending with Derrick Henry and Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, and he only has one
it's
starting quarterback. Well, no, he's
Super
got Aaron
flex, and you're
Rodgers.
starting Rodgers every week.
Yeah.
This guy's hanging
talking
on
to him at
a dream
least.
here.
I'm talking to him saying, like, where do you think you're at? Like, Are you actually pushing for it? Do you think you can push for it? Because if not, I do have interest in some of your like veteran players. But
Like
if you think you're going to
Adams.
go for it, then like, cool, I get it. But I'm interested in Devontae Adams. I'm interested in Derrick Henry. I'm interested, like, those are pieces that would be very intriguing to me. And I think
this
you
guy's
could honestly move a TJ Hawkinson, and I don't know that you could quite get both Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams, but I think that could be the main piece of the deal, and then you throw in some other stuff to make it happen if this guy is rebuilding.
I would be happy to, you have both of those seconds in this year's draft class. I'd be happy to throw both of those seconds, the late ones, and see if that pushes it over the edge as well. And if he values Tyreek Hill cheaper than Adams, then I'm okay taking Hill as well.
Yeah, Hill and Henry for 2 seconds, and
Hawk
and TJ Hawkinson. I'll do that, because
I think this guy just kind of has to have a conversation with, and maybe you need to help kind of him see this team that he has here and say, like, yeah, you have some strong pieces, but you know, most of them are aging, and a year from now you could be in a deep rebuild, whereas if you kind of make some moves right now, it won't be as long of a process. Maybe help him see that. Sometimes I think people just need a conversation,
definitely a gentle parenting trade negotiating.
Yeah, like don't tell him his team's gonna be bad, but like, you know what I mean? Like, just help him see, like, you're banking on 4 guys basically here over the age of 30 on the wrong side of the age cliff, and that's a pretty risky bet, brother.
Right.
So are you a big Alexander Madison fan, or is there a reason why he's your RB3?
Yeah, you big season from Jerome Ford this year, or what are we thinking, man?
Oh man. All right, so yeah, I think that's the next move is we're trying to talk this guy into not contending.
Yeah, we want to nudge him into a early rebuild.
Yep. I think that's the best move. So we've got a lot of potential moves on the board. The Joe Mixon potential move, this potential move, looking at some receivers that we can potentially go after. So I think there's a lot of things to do, and I'd still be open to looking at that QB3 spot. If the right deal approaches, I think we're pushing all their chips in, and we're trying to win this year.
I agree.
Do we have time for one more?
I think we could sneak one more in. You good with that, Andrew?
I'm down. Do it.
Really fast.
All right.
We have a super chat. This is how I get you guys to stay even longer, because I have
that.
And then I threw in a super chat too. Okay, let's do this thing again. I'm gonna count down on shoot. Tell me.
Oh, you gotta give me a second to think about this.
What wide receiver you're gonna upgrade the 105 and T Higgins for? So you're giving up the 105 and T Higgins. Who are you wanting to upgrade to? Do you guys
Garrett, let me throw out some names, Garrett, and you tell me if it's likely or unlikely.
Ooh.
Okay. Because I'm betting we're thinking some of the same names, but go ahead.
Amon-Ra.
I lean toward unlikely.
Nico.
Likely.
Drake London.
Likely.
And then it's like Lad McConkey. Like, I think it's
And
just
at that
getting
point, I
likelier
don't know
and
if that's
likelier,
the-
right? Like,
Yeah, I think those are the guys I'm looking at. I'm looking at Brian Thomas Jr.
Puka?
Looking at Drake London, Puka. I'd be looking at Puka.
Is that too much for Garrett Wilson?
yes.
Seems a little expensive for Garrett. It's close though.
Really, I would not trade T in the 105 for Garrett Wilson.
I'm a Garrett Wilson supporter overall. And
Me too.
I'm not scared away by the Justin Fields. We saw DJ Moore with his best season of his career with Justin Fields. They both played together at Ohio State as well. So that doesn't really concern me too much. And we saw him be a wide receiver 1 last year. So while I'm not doing it, I think it's closer for me than it is you.
Yeah, I hear a lot of those arguments, and I actually agree with a lot of the arguments. Like, I can see the pathway. I think
You're
T
giving up a
Higgins
lot.
and Garrett in that range, like, they could be very similar producers in our lineups, and the age isn't different that crazy. Like, and then I'm giving a 105, which I think could be like a Tet or a Travis Hunter or a Henderson. It's a lot.
lot to
But I
give
think
up.
I'm with you. Like, originally, like, I'd be trying to get like a Nico Collins, a Drake London, maybe a
Nakua.
Puka, and see if I can start the conversation somewhere around there.
Yeah. Brian Thomas Jr. What about
Yep.
last one, Marvin Harrison Jr.? Where would you feel about that one?
Yeah, I like Marvin. I think he's an upgrade. He's definitely, I think, the riskiest of the guys
He's
that we
probably the
talked
riskiest
about.
of the group. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd probably want them to throw me something just to inherit some of the risk with Marvin.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right.
Okay, so this is Wade's team. He's
All right,
been in
Wade.
the
He's
chat
he's been waiting.
pretty much
He's
this
been
whole-
waiting.
Yeah. So I'm excited that we get to him. It is a 10-team Superflex league. He writes, there is one super team in this league. We're all trying to boycott him, looking for advice for trades, moving trade capital for certain players, or do I sit and wait it out because I'm looking better now that I've made some moves this season already.
All right. So contender, we know that we're in 7th. Dynasty mode, we are in 8th. So we're towards the back a little bit. But he made an interesting comment here, Andrew. We're all trying to boycott the super team.
That's what I was thinking about. How are you doing that? Because I don't want you guys colluding together.
Right.
Well, this also means that super team only has one trade partner now.
But the fun part is,
It's
here's
you.
the thing. I'm going to take a walk down Narrative Street real quick. Let's take a little stroll. All right. If I'm in this situation and everybody, because I've been in these leagues before where everyone's like, screw that guy. We're tired of him being good. Like, I've been the guy and I've been against the guy. Like, I've been in both scenarios. So I understand this feeling. There's some great deals to be made when that's the sentiment. And you've got to decide what side of that coin you want to be on. But either way, I'm capitalizing on that. I'm going to people. And so I'm curious to see if you think this team with a couple additional pieces is somebody that could compete with them, or if you still think we're too far away, because I think he said he does not own his first round picks.
Did we go through his team?
Yeah, I haven't even read through his team, actually. I got too excited. Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, Ashton Genty, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, George Pickens, Jaden Higgins, Keon Coleman, Cedric Tillman, Jawan Jennings. And then at tight end, we've got T.J. Hawkinson, Evan Ingram, Jonnu Smith. Does not have any of his own, but he does have another team's first in 2027. What team is that? Where are they ranked in contender mode?
Second in Dynasty and second in Contender. So that's
okay. So that's going to be a pretty high
team.
pick. So for me, Andrew, I'm utilizing this knowledge that I have about how the league feels about this guy, and I'm trying to capitalize on it. And I'm going to either say, hey, I want to help you beat this team. Here's some of my best players. I need all of this young studs back. Or B, I am going against him. Help give me some discounts to help go up against this team. I can't afford to pay a premium, but we all know we don't want him to win. Like, I'm using this to my advantage. Are you doing that too?
Yeah, I'll do it, but I think I also went a little bit more of an evil side of this thing where I'm like, hey,
this is where
I'm
I
going to
went.
trade these players to the super team if you don't buy them right now. Off of my roster.
Oh, I like it.
I'm going to
it.
join the dark side here. If you want to stop him from being a super team that badly, you better beat his offer right now. And even if he doesn't have an offer on the table, I'm making one up that he has one on the table.
He's giving me 2 firsts for J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, you have to beat that. Otherwise, he
Beat it.
gets J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm utilizing this either direction. So looking at this team, 10-team leagues are interesting because nobody's ever like that far out of it in a 10-team league because 6 teams make the playoffs. So you're never crazy far out of it. And the big thing for me as I'm looking at it, these are not crazy deep starting rosters, right? What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
11 starters.
Oh, okay. So it actually is a decently deep starting lineup. Because I'd still, even with that though, I still don't love like just how the gluttony of receivers that we have. Like it just feels like we have an absorbent amount, and just none of them outside of like AJ Brown give me like the good feelings. Everybody, can you scroll down to our receivers, Pete?
Yep.
Like we've got all of these guys here that are all like somewhat interesting, but like just don't really do much for me. So like if I like, let me ask this before I continue on. Andrew, are you trying to be the team that's getting the assets to compete against this team, or are you trying to figure out how to get our picks back and kind of do more of like a rebuild?
I think because we're 8th in Dynasty, and I want to say 8th in contender as well, right? Like
I think we're
Correct.
7th in contender.
Oh, 7th. Yep.
7th. I think because we're there, I'm leaning more towards saying like, who can I give some of these players to have them overpay me for veteran production where I can get the youth or the draft picks. I think that's kind of where I'm at.
I think that's where I lean as well. Because I just don't think you have enough. But I think AJ Brown to the right team, like I'm trying, we talked before. I don't know if we can get to first. We might be able to in this type of scenario.
Like what do team 2 and 3 here? I guess let's look at contender first before we go there. But like, what are the next 2 teams in line working with where we can like
switch to contender mode real quick, Pete.
Okay.
All right. So those teams 2 and 3, what do they have? What do they need?
I'd even look at 4 because they're all kind of the same grouping of guys trying to.
This guy needs running back.
Like here, can I buy
Or
Rashi or Marvin and give him?
Yeah, Rice was who I was thinking about too.
Hampton, but I don't really want a running back. What does he have draft capital wise?
He's got
lots to work with.
Who's GM Cologne?
That's us.
Oh, our own first. I love that.
Let me get my first and Rice for AJ, and I'm willing to give you something else too on top. But
Stephon Diggs. Oh no, wait, that's not our team. Go back to our team.
Yep.
Like I'll give you Dobbins or Swift.
Sutton?
He also
Sutton
needs
too.
tight end, so
AJ Brown. AJ Brown and Dobbins.
Ingram, yeah.
Yeah, I think any of those pieces depends on who he likes. But yeah, if we could get Rice in our first back, now we're sitting in a much better spot. And we gave up the guy that's going to be getting us the most points this year, which is AJ Brown. But I'm still going to keep going. I honestly, with there being no tight end premium here, I'm willing to move Hawkinson. I'm willing to move Evan Ingram. I'm willing to move any of those types of guys. You could always acquire him back later if we find ourselves pushing towards a contender later. Because in a 10 team, it's not going to be hard to get.
We've been saying a lot that we were going to sell our first round pick to get Hawkinson. Can we sell Hawkinson to get a first?
I would love to. 10 team, it might be harder with no premium, but it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot for sure.
He has Warren and Loveland, so it's like
could we go okay,
but like
this is definitely our trade partner here, by the way, because he has the Rice, he has our first round picks, and he has like the young tight ends. Can I give him AJ Brown and TJ Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift or something like that to give him another running back? Because maybe he doesn't feel super comfortable about Pacheco. And I will take Rice, my first round pick back, and my choice of Warren or Loveland, or his choice of Warren or Loveland. And then what else do we need in this deal here? Is that even? Could we get a little bit more?
Let's throw it in the trade calculator, Pete.
So that was main. Oh.
No one wants Hawk in our league, he says. Interesting.
Ooh.
All right, what about Evan Ingram then?
So Ingram, and then it was AJ Brown, and what?
It would have been
and
AJ
then-
Hawkinson, but he said nobody wants Hawkinson.
and then the running back.
Swift.
Swift, yeah. And then we were going to take Rice, our first round pick back. And then like Warren or Loveland would have been one of the guys that we would have taken. But
All right. So we'd have to
Was it
give a
paid by
little
900?
bit more in this kind of deal, but I think we're on the right track with this. Do we have like a second to give on top or something like that?
throw him.
We have a 27 second.
I'd rather keep the second if we're blowing it up and just give him one of these like
That's true.
receivers. You want Juwan Jennings? Like something like
Courtland
that.
Sutton.
Dobbins, you want one of those guys?
Yeah, I'd throw Sutton, Dobbins, Jennings, whoever he likes. I'd be willing to throw any one of those guys in the deal as well.
Because at least I know that second round pick's going to accumulate value over the next 12 months. And then I can sell that when I'm on the clock later.
You said Hawk
He said
might
Hawk
work for that offer.
for that offer.
Okay, if we can get Hawk instead of,
So pull Ingram out and throw Hawkinson
and that
in.
should be even then.
And then, yeah, we should be pretty close to where we need to be. Maybe you can even get a little bit more.
Yeah,
That's
we might
pretty
even be able to
perfect.
get a hair back. So yeah, I think that's the move I'm making.
Yeah,
Are you
that's-
asking
that's an
for
awesome
more? Or are you
trade.
just calling it the way that it is?
I'm using the I'm walking down narrative street. I'm like, hey dude, these three guys are gonna help you win this year. You've got to beat them. But like you said, I don't want to sell them to the juggernaut. I want to sell them to you, but you got to make the offer worth it for me to do it. Like, you know, like you got to milk it. But I think you could get more.
Can we just, to play the game, can we see what the other team, the super team has
Yeah.
on his roster, just to like say like,
Running backs are crazy, but the quarterbacks are super beatable.
but it's like if you don't consider this offer, like I'm gonna go offer this offer
He's
to the
weak
super
at tight
team.
end.
Yeah,
Oh,
and say
so
like,
you can
hey,
tell that he wants Hawkinson bad.
I'm giving him Hawkinson, and all I'm gonna ask him back for is Mason Taylor, plus like, you know, the stuff that I'm asking you for.
Yeah, I don't want to sell TJ Hawkinson to this guy, but I will if I have to. But
Don't make me
I'd
do
rather
it.
work with you. I want you to beat him.
I'm telling you, it's a little evil, but it might work.
It might work, dude. That's Wade. This is the way, my friend. And he said this is a guy he's been trading with, so he thinks he can get this deal done. I think
Nice.
Rice is one of those assets that once he's back on the field is going to really jump up in value. Like I remember week 3 when I was ranking him in my overall dynasty ranks, I had him as like wide receiver 8, 9. Like
6.
I had him way high up there.
Yeah.
So I think a deal like this could potentially get done.
I like it. I think that's a good offer to even just like throw out there and see where we can get.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. With it being a super flex league, but only being 10 teams, I'm not as married to like having to have super great quarterbacks in my rebuild. Is there like, would you entertain offers for Caleb Williams or Brock Purdy if teams came knocking?
I'd entertain him for Purdy, not for Caleb, because I think Caleb can enter the elite
That next
quarterback
tier?
tier. Yeah. So I think like if somebody wants to take Purdy from me and I can down tier, I'm all for it. But I think Caleb, because I have hopes that he can get into that next tier, that's probably a guy that I wouldn't move.
Sure. Yeah, that team only has one quarterback there, team 9. So they could be a team that could potentially.
Wade asked what the offer was again. It's Hawkinson and what was it? Hawkinson, Swift, and there it is. Yeah.
And AJ Brown. You get back Rashee Rice, Colston Loveland, and you get your own first back, which is big.
Yep.
And we would want that to be a 27 first, correct? Or do we want that to be 26?
Either or. He has both of our first though.
Yeah.
In 26 and 27. I would prefer the 27 over the 21st.
I
over
would
the
as well,
26
but
first.
Is there anything
I'm
we
okay
could
with
add
either.
to get both?
Give him
because if we're doing this, we're at the point where we don't want points.
Can I
He's
just
a Bears
throw him-
fan, but
Can I
DJ
throw
Moore
him
could be
Yeah.
somebody. George
No,
Pickens could
so
be somebody.
Wade's a Bears fan, not the other guy.
Oh, Wade's a Bears fan, so Caleb has a no trade clause. I
Yeah,
understand
get it. But does DJ Moore have a no trade clause? Because
He
DJ
shouldn't.
Moore could get you your other pick back potentially.
I mean, you can trade. He has the other guys first, so maybe could you include that?
a pick swap. You get yours back, and I
Ooh,
get
you
mine
your
back.
first. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So adding on to that trade.
Okay. All you would have to do is add
his-
the 227s in here, and this is how I would try and send it. Would be, I'm getting the 26 first as part of the players that we talked about, but I also want the pick swap in 27. Like that's, and if you have to
Because-
give a second round pick thrown in on top to make the pick swap happen, I'm okay, because we know that 27 first is going to be close to the top.
Yep, and I'm willing
Because
to
this is
go ahead.
this
Pete.
is what you need to do in order to face that juggernaut team, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unless you want me to give him Hawkinson.
Right. Yep. I like this. I think this is the absolute move, Wade. Make this deal happen, my guy.
If he replied, "I want DJ Moore," on top of this, is that no go, or are you willing to do that in order to get both your picks back?
I think getting both of our picks back is the most important thing. I'd pretend to be a little wishy-washy, ask for like something tiny back just to be that guy and just to get more value. But overall, DJ Moore is not going to like end things for me. Neither is George Pickens. Like both of those guys are absolutely on the table for me, because on the flip side, I'm now at the point too where I don't want points anymore. If I have my first and in 26 and 27, I don't want points. So I'm trying to figure out moves where I'm still getting value, but I'm moving a lot of those types of players off of my team.
Does Maine have my second as well?
Yes, correct.
All right, then I'd say, look, I'll do you a solid. I'll throw DJ Moore in there for the second round pick. That's a discount right now, but give me my second back, and
Love it.
you can have DJ Moore, and it's just going to be some more points for your roster that's going to help you win.
Yep. I love this trade. I think this is a great deal.
And it truly is like, hey, I'm selling you all of my points on my roster so you can go try and compete against that guy. You just have to give me my future back, man. That's all I want is my future back.
And you're telling him too, in case this goes sideways, you now have your first back. So you don't have to sweat it.
Yeah.
I think this makes a
Perfect.
lot of sense. Love it. Wade, best of luck, my friend. All right, guys. Well, it's 2:30. We've been going for 2.5 hours. We got to wrap things up here. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today. Anything you want to say to the good folks before we get out of here?
No, man. Appreciate everybody for submitting some rosters. It's fun to go through these, talk about these, strategies and trades and all that good stuff. So appreciate everybody for submitting some stuff.
Absolutely. Pete, anything before we're out of here?
Other than Andrew, am I wrong in remembering that you had a pretty big guest on your YouTube page yesterday?
Yeah. Dropped a video yesterday on the channel with Andy Holloway of the Fantasy Footballers. So that was really cool. Was kind of like a full circle moment for me, because when I was getting into playing fantasy football content, or I guess playing fantasy football, the content that I consumed was the Fantasy Footballers. So having Andy on the channel was really dope to have. So it was cool to do that. If you guys want to check that out, at the League FFB on YouTube, you can find my stuff. And yeah, it came out yesterday. So go show it some love. And thank you to everybody who's been showing love to the first solo video that I did on the channel the other day. I think you guys came out and showed up. So appreciate you.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you guys. Great hanging out with you. Come back on Friday. We are going to have another episode of Roster Rescue. We're going to have my friend Taylor Christensen, which you guys are all familiar with. He'll be here joining me on Friday. We'll have another pre-show for those Nerd Herd members. We'll be there as well. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you then.